Chapter 610. Fortunately, Ruan Qingshuang left in time. Otherwise, she would have been embarrassed by the conversation between the two little guys. Guogua began to talk about the secrets between the two of them. Bu Fifan listened attentively, starting from how Su Yun saved the damsel in distress. He listened to Guogua carefully. After Ruan Qingshuang returned to her room with Su Yun's clothes, she suddenly realized that something was wrong. Because she knew that Chang and the others were coming, Ruan Qingshuang didn't notice it. Only now did she realize that the rooms prepared by the housekeeping department were a little ambiguous. Cho Yun and Guogua would share a standard double bedroom, and the single room next to theirs was prepared for Bu Fifan. Apart from that, there was also the double-bed luxurious standard double bedroom that Su Yun was in. Could it be that the housekeeping department deliberately arranged it when they arranged the rooms? It was obvious that they wanted her to share a room with Su Yun. When Ruan Qingshuang figured it out, it was too late. It was hard to ask for a room from the housekeeping department now. Besides, it was the end of the year, and almost all the rooms were reserved. Even if there was a vacant room, it was reserved for guests. She couldn't just go and stay there. It seemed that she had to discuss with Bu Fifan about changing rooms. After putting down Su Yun's clothes, she quickly returned. Bu Fifan was still listening to Guogua, and hadn't left yet. "Little Bu, can I discuss something with you?" Ruan Qingshuang smiled and said, "Although it's a little sudden, I think you can understand. If it's possible, can you let me stay in your room? You can share a room with Su Yun. That way, the two of you can chat, and improve your relationship. What do you think?" When Bu Fifan heard this, he immediately perked up. Of course this was great. He was naturally willing to share a room with Su Yun. This was definitely not a problem. If he could talk more with Su Yun in the evening, he might even learn some special secrets. After all, he was now full of mystery toward Su Yun because of Kevin Matthews' goodwill toward Su Yun. Just as Bu Fifan was about to agree, Guogua suddenly reached out and pinched Bu Fifan's back. This little guy's action was as subtle as it could be. Other than Bu Fifan's twisted expression, absolutely no one could tell that something was wrong. After being pinched, Bu Fifan immediately understood what Guogua meant. He made a prompt decision and refused Ruan Qingshuang. "I'm sorry, Aunt Shuang. I'm used to sleeping alone. If there's someone next to me, I won't be able to sleep." Ruan Qingshuang's expression became awkward. She probed, Then don't you have a lot to talk about with Su Yun?" "I do, but after all, it's time to sleep." I'll talk during the day when I have time." Bu Fifan's answer made Guogua very satisfied. He also let out a sigh of relief. He had to admit that this little sister of his was much more cunning than he was. Under Guogua's gaze, Bu Fifan yawned and said, "I'm really tired today. I'll go back and rest first." "Aunt Shuang, Guogua, you should rest early too." After saying that, Bu Fifan opened the door and ran out before Ruan Qingshuang could say anything. Ruan Qingshuang shook her head helplessly and glanced at Guogua. Cho Yun, who had gone to the gym to work out, hadn't returned yet. Besides, she couldn't ask Cho Yun to sleep in the same bed as Su Yun. Thinking of this, she could only put her hopes on Guogua. Guogua's answer was even simpler. She kicked off her shoes and climbed into the bed. Of course, Ruan Qingshuang knew what this little brat was thinking. She didn't ask her anymore. It didn't matter. Wasn't it just sleeping in the same bed as Su Yun? It wasn't like she hadn't done it before. Moreover, since she was already prepared to be Su Yun's woman at any time, there was nothing to be shy about. What was to come would come sooner or later. When Ruan Qingshuang came back again, Su Yun had already finished showering and came out of the bathroom. Under his wet hair, the corners of his muscular body were clearly defined. The perfect curves of his muscles were undoubtedly lethal to a woman. At least, Ruan Qingshuang didn't know what to do at this moment. Well, today's room. And there was a mistake in the arrangement. Let's make do with this room for the night first." Ruan Qingshuang said incoherently. She looked to the side in a trance. Su Yun's waist was wrapped in a bath towel. He picked up the clothes that Ruan Qingshuang prepared for him and smiled. "This is called making do. The luxurious standard room of a 5-star hotel is really not making do at all. Now there are many meetings at the end of the year and many business trips. It's good enough to have a room for us. Ha, you go take a bath. I've just prepared the water for you. RuanQingshuang was touched by Su Yun's naturalness. She put down the worry in her heart and took a deep breath. She tried to be generous. She nodded and went to the bathroom to take a bath without saying anything. It was already a great blessing for RuanQingshuang that Su Yun could personally prepare the bath water for her. Maybe it was because of excitement, or maybe it was because of embarrassment. In short, RuanQingshuang suddenly thought of a problem the moment she lay in the jacuzzi. She just came in to take a bath and forgot to bring in the clean clothes she wanted to change into. This was too embarrassing. Her clothes were still in Guogua and Cho Yun's room. She didn't bring her phone. She didn't know how to tell Su Yun. Forget it, forget it. She could just go out with a bath towel wrapped around her body like Su Yun. Anyway, she was going to sleep at night. Tomorrow morning, she would ask Su Yun to tell Guogua to send her clothes over. After relaxing, RuanQingshuang took a comfortable bath. She washed away all the tiredness of the day. She got out of the bath and dried her body. Then, she wrapped a bath towel around her body and walked out. Su Yun was lying in bed watching TV. When he heard the sound, he turned his head. Wow, it was amazing. RuanQingshuang's beautiful black hair poured down like the Milky Way. Her eyebrows were like crescent moons. Her beautiful eyes were like the stars and the bright moon. Her exquisite nose, pink cheeks, tender lips, snow-white cheeks were blushing. Her skin was as clear as crystal. Her skin was as beautiful as snow. Her figure was graceful. She was an outstanding beauty. It was said that the moment a beauty came out of the bath was the most beautiful. However, the looming feeling of being wrapped in a bath towel after coming out of the bath was actually more attractive to men. Su Yun's eyes were a little dazed. He could only reach under the blanket and secretly pinch his thigh. Only then did he come back to his senses. His unintentional action made RuanQingshuang's face turn red. RuanQingshuang could only see Su Yun move his hand to his thigh through the blanket. She didn't know that Su Yun was secretly pinching himself to stop her from thinking too much. She thought that Su Yun was. The entertainment programs nowadays are too unethical. Su Yun pointed at the TV and changed the topic. There are all kinds of people these days. In order to fight for a position, in order to operate, they can do all kinds of unethical things. Originally, the atmosphere of the entertainment industry was quite good. It was all messed up by these people. As Su Yun spoke, he gestured for RuanQingshuang to go to bed to rest. RuanQingshuang could only use this opportunity to change the awkwardness to go to bed. She lay down beside Su Yun and watched the TV together. This feeling made RuanQingshuang feel very comfortable. It was like a young couple together. It was an indescribable kind of happiness and sweetness. Soon, the awkwardness was naturally resolved. Su Yun and RuanQingshuang were amused by the unethical people on the TV entertainment programs. Soon, the TV played a program about lovers. It talked about how a couple who rarely spent time together maintained their relationship. The program was very touching. RuanQingshuang's eyes turned red. How long can you stay in Xinjiang this time? RuanQingshuang suddenly asked this question. To be honest, Su Yun didn't know how to answer this question. This was because he met Gu Zueran today. Su Yun didn't dare to doubt the words that Gu Zueran said to Su Yun. Su Yun thought for a while before saying, "Maybe I have to go out tomorrow." After saying that, Su Yun was silent for a while. He wanted to explain, but RuanQingshuang didn't give him a chance to speak. She said to him directly, "I understand. You have your own things to deal with. I won't be your shackles and fetters. I just hope that you can spend more time with Guogua during the holidays. She needs you more than I do. Then I'll take her to Qingdao tomorrow to see the sea, feel the wind and relax," Su Yun said. "With Chang and the others helping you with Xingkai Hotel, I'll be more at ease." RuanQingshuang nodded. She looked quite happy. "It'll be great if you can take Guogua to relax. You know, I've always been worried about one thing, and that's the new year. This is the first year that Guogua lost her only relative, her grandfather. The new year represents a very important reunion for us Huaxia people. I'm afraid that Guogua will feel uncomfortable. After all, she's still young." In fact, Su Yun also thought of this problem. Now that RuanQingshuang said it, it was easier for him to say without thinking. Guogua at least has Cho Yun to accompany her. We'll accompany her. On the contrary, I'm more worried about you. You also have a family. When Ruan Qingshuang heard Su Yun's words, she immediately fell silent. Her family might not be her family anymore. When she resolutely left that year, she completely cut off her relationship with her family. For the sake of that damn marriage contract, for the so-called material things, she couldn't accept her family's arrangement at all. For Ruan Qingshuang, her family was both lovable and detestable. She didn't know how to face them. This wasn't the first year that she left home. She had tasted the bitterness before, so she didn't want Guogua to be like her. Now, Ruan Qingshuang had already thrown away the shackles on her heart. When I begged, my family never treated me as a family member. They only treated me as a commodity, a bargaining chip in exchange for material things. At that moment I lost my family. Although I missed them all these years, this might be the reason for distance. Only distance can produce longing. And when we're really together, they can always give me pain. Other than pain, everything else is pain. Su Yun knew that his words touched Ruan Qingshuang's fragile heart. He said lightly, I'm sorry. Don't think so much. It's late. Go to sleep. Tomorrow is Chang's first day of work. You still have to introduce them to the managers of the various departments. And good night. Ruan Qingshuang nodded. At this moment, Su Yun suddenly reached out and hugged her. This gentleness made Ruan Qingshuang quickly erase all the unpleasant memories. Su Yun only wanted to let her know that in this world, even if she lost everything, she still had him, Guogua, and these family members here. Chapter 611. In the morning, when Ruan Qingshuang opened her eyes, she found that Su Yun was no longer in the room. Her clothes were neatly folded next to the pillow. Although she had mentally prepared herself, Ruan Qingshuang couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. She quickly put on her clothes and left the room. Then she heard Su Yun's hearty laughter and Guogua's excited screams from the next room. Of course, Guogua couldn't suppress the excitement in her heart, because Su Yun was going to take her to Qingdao to see the sea. There were many places with seas in Huaxia, but Qingdao was different. Perhaps the sea there was not the most famous, not the cleanest, and not the most beautiful, but it had hosted the Olympic Games together with Yanjing. What other cities had on the seaside, they had all, but the Olympic Sailing Center on the seaside here was not available in other cities. The reason why Zhang Taisui was so determined to build his film and television empire on Qingdao was probably because of the city's international influence. Dalian was cleaner than Qingdao, Sanya was prettier than Qingdao, and there were other seaside cities that were richer than Qingdao. However, Qingdao's international influence was greater than that of those cities. Logically speaking, this project was supposed to start after Su Yun took over. This was Zhang Taisui's last wish. However, Zhuo Meiyan was still trying her best to help Su Yun deal with the important matters of Sky Entertainment Group. It wasn't that Zhuo Meiyan didn't want to give up her power, but she really didn't want to see Su Yun worry and tire himself out. She wanted to help Su Yun do everything well, so that he could easily take over Sky Entertainment Group without any worries. Only then could Zhuo Meiyan feel that she was worthy of Zhang Taisui's trust. It wasn't that Su Yun didn't understand this simple logic. There were many reasons why he didn't take over Sky Entertainment Group. It wasn't because he wasn't interested in the company, but because he was afraid that once he took over, Zhuo Meiyan's spiritual sustenance would disappear. The person Zhuo Meiyan respected the most in her life was Zhang Taisui. Because of him, she was able to focus on Sky Entertainment Group and not think about other things. If she suddenly lost her spiritual sustenance, she would definitely think about things that Su Yun didn't want her to think about. Zhuo Meiyan's blood feud wasn't that simple. Su Yun really didn't want her to hate someone she couldn't take revenge for now. Su Yun hoped that Zhuo Meiyan could walk out of that shadow as soon as possible. After all, her family's enemy wasn't someone they could touch with right now. The reason Su Yun didn't want to take over Sky Entertainment Group was because he wanted to let Zhuo Meiyan's attention be distracted by the company's complicated matters. He wanted her to gradually forget about the hatred in her heart. Of course, Su Yun would get justice for what happened to her sooner or later, but not now. After all, the enemy was too strong. Even a grandmaster like Wang Yi didn't have a chance of winning against him. When Guogua heard the news, her heart immediately flew to Qingdao. When she saw Ruan Qingshuang push open the door and enter, Guoguo's face revealed a sly smile. Mom, did you sleep well last night? Hee hee, Guoguo went to deliver your clothes this morning. I saw your thighs exposed. Ruan Qingshuang's face turned red. She glared at Guoguo and said, You didn't want to change rooms with me last night. I've doted on you for nothing. Guoguo pretended to be wronged and said, It's because Mom treats Guoguo too well that Guoguo didn't want to change rooms with you. I'm doing this for your own good. Hee hee, I'm going to tell Brother Bu some good news. Bu Fifan, who had already gotten up and walked out of his room, heard Guoguo's excited voice from the corridor. He directly pushed open the door and asked, What good news? Look at how excited you are. Did you win the lottery? This is even more exciting than winning the lottery. Guoguo said proudly. Dad wants to take me to Qingdao to relax. Ha ha, ha. Guoguo's laughter suddenly changed. She suddenly realized that if Su Yin only took her, Bu Fifan would lose face and feel very disappointed. However, Su Yin didn't say that he would take Bu Fifan with him. Guoguo felt that her rash announcement wasn't very righteous. However, after hearing the news, Bu Fifan's reaction was much calmer than Guoguo imagined. Qingdao. It's a good place. It's very good. There are all kinds of seafood and all kinds of beer on Beer Street. Many places don't drink beer in winter, but Qingdao is different. Many Qingdao people say that if you don't drink beer in winter, you're not from Qingdao. You've been there? Guoguo heaved a sigh of relief. If Bu Fifan had been to Qingdao, then this matter would be much easier to handle. At least he wouldn't be so disappointed. However, Bu Fifan shook his head to Guoguo's surprise. I've never been there. I've only heard about it. Ha, Guoguo, when you go you must eat spicy fried clams, raw oysters and grilled starfish. I heard that they are all very delicious. I wish you all a good time. Guoguo didn't know what to say. Her flaunting seemed so useless at this moment. Although she didn't see any disappointment on Bu Fifan's face, Guoguo still sensed the disappointment hidden deep in Bu Fifan's heart when he said, Have a good time, with her sixth sense as a child. Su Yin finally said, What do you mean by wishing us all a good time? It's not like you don't want to go with us. His calm words stirred up waves in the depths of Bu Fifan's heart. However, a boy's boring self-esteem forced him to suppress the ecstasy in his heart. He pretended to be calm and said, I'm going too? But don't I still need to learn about hotel management? Guoguo didn't hesitate to give her little brother a way out. There are many opportunities to learn about hotel management, but this is your only chance to go to Qingdao. Little brother Bu, I know you are a person who loves to learn, but Guoguo still hopes that you can go with me. Bu Fifan scratched his head and said with a silly smile, Haha then I'll accept your invitation. To be honest, Su Yin didn't plan to take Bu Fifan to Qingdao at first. He had high expectations for Bu Fifan. He hoped that he could master the knowledge of hotel management as soon as possible. However, now that he thought about it, Su Yin seemed to be in a hurry. No matter what, Bu Fifan was only a 13-year-old child. He might be more mature than his peers, but it didn't mean that he had to do things that were more difficult than his peers. This was a good opportunity for Guoguo to relax, but it was also a good opportunity for Bu Fifan. He also wanted to spend his first year without Yi Fala's company. Thinking of Yi Fala, Su Yin could only hope that she would be released in advance with her best performance. Because of the clues she gave, the Shenzhen police uncovered a drug trafficking network that covered a large area. This could also be said to be Yi Fala's credit. People always made mistakes, but if she knew how to correct her mistakes, why not give her a chance? You guys must have fun there. Guoguo, remember to listen to your dad. Don't bully your big brother Bu. Ruan Qingshuang also wanted to go, but she knew that Su Yin didn't go to Xinjiang to relax. If Guoguo and Bu Fifan went, Chou Yun would take care of them. If she went, she would definitely distract Su Yin. Moreover, the hotel was undergoing a major overhaul. She really couldn't leave. Guoguo immediately made a military order. Mom, don't worry about me taking care of things. This is a must. I will definitely take good care of big brother Bu. If he doesn't listen to Dad, I will definitely help Dad look after him. Bu Fifan was speechless. She was clearly talking about him, right? Why did she suddenly change the topic to him? Phew, even if I don't want to be obedient, I need to have the ability to do so. With Su Yun by his side, how could he, Bufifan, be disobedient? Even his master, Kevin Matthew, was somewhat respectful of Su Yun, let alone Bufifan. Cho Yun, I'll leave them to you. RuanQingshuang looked at Cho Yun. Ever since the two of them had a heart-to-heart talk on the balcony, their relationship had become much closer. Cho Yun smiled and shook her head. This time, I won't go with them. I'll stay and help you. I already told Su Yun that you need help the most right now. Because Chang and the others are all here, Su Yun isn't. Moreover, it's already the end of the year. He's worried that the middle management will come up with some tricks while he's away. He wants me to stay and help you. You're not going? Then what about Guogua? Who will look after Guogua? Ruan Qingshuang couldn't help but ask in surprise. Su Yun patted his chest. You don't have to worry about that. As long as we reach Qingdao, I promise to find a team of bodyguards to look after Guogua and Little Bu at all times. You're right to listen to me. I have my reasons for letting Cho Yun stay. Don't worry, nothing will happen to these two children if they follow me. Ruan Qingshuang didn't doubt that Guogua and Bufifan would be fine with Su Yun. What surprised her was that Cho Yun could actually let go of Guogua. Ruan Qingshuang couldn't believe it for a moment. Of course, all of this was thanks to Su Yun. Before dawn today, Su Yun woke Cho Yun up to discuss this matter with her. Su Yun felt that if Cho Yun always followed Guogua, it would make Guogua worry a lot. It would make her feel that she wasn't an ordinary child, and that danger might appear at any time around her. If it went on like this, Guogua's mentality would become a habit. She would habitually feel insecure. Although Guogua certainly wouldn't show it on the surface, it was absolutely inevitable. Now it was time to try to let go. When there was someone by Guogua's side to ensure her safety, Su Yun hoped that Cho Yun could give Guogua enough space to let her forget that she wasn't ordinary. He wanted her to stop feeling that there was danger around her. Cho Yun agreed with Su Yun's words. She seemed to have realized that she often made Guogua feel that Guogua felt when she was by Guogua's side. Guogua was still young. If this kind of insecure mentality became fixed, it would be difficult for her to trust and interact with anyone when she grew up. Therefore, Cho Yun was willing to believe Su Yun and listen to Su Yun. She wanted to take advantage of the opportunity when Guogua made her first close friend, Bufifan, to give Guogua enough personal space. She wanted to be able to go through this trip without any worries. Therefore, Cho Yun decided to stay in Xinjiang to help Ruan Qingshuang manage the hotel. Chapter 6:12. Ruan Qingshuang quickly packed the luggage for Guogua and Bufifan, and reminded them again and again. It seemed that every mother would do this. There was an old saying in Huaxia that went, "When a son travels 1,000 miles, his mother worries about him." Although Ruan Qingshuang was not the biological mother of these two children, she treated them like her own children. That kind of deep maternal love touched the softest part of Guogua and Bufifan's hearts. For the children of ordinary families, maternal love was the most common thing, because they were surrounded by maternal love every day. For them, maternal love was even a kind of nagging that they hated and disliked. If they could really experience the feeling of children without maternal love, perhaps they would not be so unappreciative anymore. Guogua and Bufifan enjoyed this maternal love, and Ruan Qingshuang's tireless reminders over and over again. Be careful when you cross the road. Be careful when you go to the seaside. Eat in a hygienic place. Drink more water. Wear a hat when you go out. The sea breeze is too cold. The reminders and reminders over and over again became a warm memory that Guogua and Bufifan could never forget in their hearts. Neither of them impatiently said got it. Guogua promised again and again that she would be obedient, and Bufifan nodded again and again to accept Ruan Qingshuang's instructions. At this moment, they did not even have the sense of urgency to set off. Instead, they hoped that they could stay a little longer. Before Su Yun set off with the two children, Chang and the others came to the hotel one after another. After all, it was their first day working in Xingkai Hotel. They were excited and couldn't sleep, so naturally, they woke up early. Knowing that Su Yun was going to take Guogua and Bufifan out for sightseeing, Dan Jiahao was very envious. He really wished that he was 5 or 6 years younger. Then maybe he would also take him to Qingdao to see the Olympic Sailing Center. "Brother, when will you take us out for sightseeing?" Don't worry, there will definitely be opportunities. Lu Feng said. Do you really think Brother Yin has the time to play? While President Tang of the Tang Group is building the Hudong Artificial River Commercial Street, he has also taken over the Sky Entertainment Group's project to build a movie and television plaza in Qingdao. Brother Yin will definitely go and take a look at the project. At the same time, he will let Guogua and President Bu have some fun. You just stay in the hotel and take care of your logistics. Su Yin smiled. That's right. Everyone will have a chance in the future. When the hotel is running normally, the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza should be almost completed. At that time, I will let you all be guests and let you sit in the chairs, watching those domestic and even international A-listers walk the red carpet and bow to you. Chang slapped his thigh. Just the thought of it made him feel good. Brother, I know you've always been a man of your word. I'm really looking forward to that day. Don't worry, it won't be long, Guogua said like a little adult. Then we'll leave the hotel to you. I hope that by the time we come back, the hotel will have changed a lot. I, Brother Bu, don't want to see those people again. Because they knew that Bu Fifan was Su Yun's godson and the real owner of the hotel. Everyone was very respectful to him. Dan Hongning patted his chest and promised, rest assured, President Bu, those people you don't want to see, we won't let a single one of them go. As long as we catch the slightest mistake, we will make them leave immediately. Bu Fifan was embarrassed by the way they addressed him. He waved his hand and said, you can just call me by my name. All right, I won't argue with you anymore. It's getting late. Let Sister Shuang take you to see the managers of the various departments. Su Yun said, we're leaving. When we come back, we'll definitely bring you gifts. Everyone lined up in a row and watched as Su Yun drove off in the wide Jeep Grand Cherokee. Guogua and Bu Fifan were chatting excitedly in the back seat. Bu Fifan told Guogua everything he heard about Qingdao, whether it was fun or delicious. Guogua became more and more excited as she listened. She wished she could grow a pair of wings and fly there right now. Su Yun drove at 180 miles per hour on the highway. Guogua complained that it was too slow. She kept blaming Su Yun for not having the ability to teleport. Su Yun was confused. He really wanted to ask Guogua if she thought he was filming You from the Stars, and treated him like a professor. Oh right, old Su. Why did you go to Qingdao's movie plaza? Isn't that what Sky Entertainment Group wanted to build many years ago? What's your relationship with Sky Entertainment Group? Bu Fifan suddenly thought of this question. He just realized that Su Yun wasn't an ordinary person. Since Sky Entertainment Group held their annual meeting at Xingkai Hotel at the end of every year, Yi Fala naturally knew about the white-lipped bamboo leaf Qing's Wamayan. Bu Fifan had also heard about her from Yi Fala a few times. It was said that this woman wasn't ordinary. She was the last disciple of the legendary Zhang Taisui. Su Yun thought for a while but didn't know how to explain. Guogua didn't hold back at all. Sky Entertainment Group is my father's. My father just doesn't want to take it over now. Pfft. Bu Fifan almost coughed up blood. Holy sh*t, this news was too explosive. Sky Entertainment Group is old Su's? Was this AF * King fantasy, or was he dreaming? Although Bu Fifan and Guogua hadn't known each other for long, he knew his little sister very well. Guogua wouldn't speak carelessly or make things up. Most importantly, Guogua wasn't bragging or joking when she said this. Her face was full of calmness, as if she was just narrating a very ordinary matter. Guogua, you have to keep a low profile. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. Guogua stuck out her tongue and muttered to herself. I'm not showing off to outsiders. I'm just telling my own people. In any case, Brother Bu will find out sooner or later that you're his godfather. Why are you hiding so much from your own godson? Aren't you afraid of scaring him in the future? Bu Fifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm already scared, old Su. When I first met you, I looked down on you. After that day, I became curious about you. Now, I'm starting to admire you. What kind of person are you? How many more things do you have that make my jaw drop? You're thinking too much. Sky Entertainment Group wasn't built by me alone. It's just like how you own Xingkai Hotel. Yi Fala left it to you, but you couldn't manage it yourself, so Yi Fala asked me for help. Su Yun, Sky Entertainment Group belongs to me, just like how Xingkai Hotel belongs to you. Bu Fifan was even more shocked. He stood up excitedly and hit his head on the roof of the car before sitting down again. His eyes were full of admiration and surprise. Old Su, you're saying that Sky Entertainment Group was left to you by Zhang Taisui. You know Zhang Taisui? That legendary big shot in the underground world. Damn, do you have to be so excited? Su Yun glanced at Bu Fifan through the rearview mirror and tried to speak as calmly as possible. I know him. His relationship with me is just like my relationship with you. Damn. Bu Fifan stood up excitedly again and was hit on the head again. Damn, no way. Zhang Taisui is your godfather. That means he's my godfather. Guogua motioned for Bu Fifan to calm down. That's right, that's right. Not only is he your godfather, but he's also my godfather. Su Yun really didn't understand how an old man who was already buried could make Bu Fifan so shocked. Bu Fifan's interest in Zhang Taisui wasn't just a little bit. It was very, very deep. Bu Fifan nodded in realization. Old Su, no wonder you're so mysterious. No wonder even my master, Matthew, is so curious about you. I didn't know you had such a legendary story. I finally know why you know about the Hunter School. My godfather is such a powerful person. He definitely wouldn't want his godson to be a rookie. That's why he sent you to the Hunter School, right? Su Yun really wanted to hit his head on the steering wheel. This guy's imagination was too rich. It seemed like Bu Fifan was very interested in the Hunter School that Su Yun mentioned the other day. Wait a minute. Su Yun had a bad feeling. He glanced at Bu Fifan through the rearview mirror again and said to him very seriously, there's no such thing as a Hunter School. I was just talking nonsense that day. Don't think too much about it. This is a society that relies on brains. It's enough to have brains. The underground world and martial arts are useless. Bu Fifan nodded and agreed. However, it was obvious that he didn't agree with Su Yun's words at all. He felt that it was impossible for a person to survive in this society without some skills. If one wanted to become a big shot, it wasn't enough to just have brains. One had to be both smart and brave. Since ancient times, those who had achieved great things all had both brains and brawn. Su Yun, for example, was Bu Fifan's target. He had both brains and brawn. Only then would he be able to make a name for himself in this society. Guogua, didn't you say you wanted to eat some sea chowder? You can ask Brother Bu if he's heard of any good places. Su Yun quickly passed the topic to Guogua, asking her to divert Bu Fifan's attention. The Hunter School was too attractive for Bu Fifan, but Su Yun didn't want him to go there. Guogua immediately understood what Su Yun was trying to say. She immediately grabbed Bu Fifan's arm and said, that's right, where's the most authentic seafood chowder? Luckily, Guogua was here, so Bu Fifan was able to patiently chat with Guogua about which street had the most famous seafood chowder, which street's seafood stir-fry was better, and which street's fresh draft beer was fresher and had a better taste. Even though Bu Fifan had never been to Qingdao, he knew quite a lot about it. He had to thank his friends in school for that. His friend's family was involved in the deep-sea seafood business on Qingdao. Su Yun was relieved that he had brought Bu Fifan along. Otherwise, he was worried that Bu Fifan would overthink things if he was left alone in Xinjiang. It would be troublesome if something happened to him. Hopefully, Bu Fifan would be able to forget about the stories about the strong underworld and the stories about how he became a legend in the Hunter School. He did not want Bu Fifan to go through the inhumane training and torture. If something happened to him, Su Yun would not be able to explain it to Yi Fala. After all, Yi Fala had asked him to do it. If Su Yun had agreed to it, there was no reason for him not to do it. Chapter 613. The moment the car drove into Qingdao, Guogua, who had been tired from sitting in the car, was suddenly energized. She rolled down the window and kept looking at the scenery outside. After getting off the highway, there was a coastal avenue. The sea breeze made the air in the city particularly fresh. Although there was some astringent smell of the sea, Guogua still took deep breaths. Bu Fifan had a good impression of Guqin Island for a long time. Today, he finally arrived at the place of his dreams. He quickly took out his phone and dialed his school friend's number. Wang Yu, I'm at Guqin Island. Wang Yu was one of Bu Fifen's few close friends in school. He had just returned to Qingdao during the winter break, and was bored to death. He did not expect Bu Fifen to call him. He was so excited that he insisted on holding a welcome dinner for Bu Fifen, and asked where he was. Su Yin didn't want to reject the kid's kindness. Although he refused Bu Fifen to meet his friend privately, he agreed to let his friend come over and have dinner with them. Bu Fifen was already very excited that Su Yin agreed to this. His good friend Wang Yu was naturally okay with it. He got the address and was ready to come over immediately. Su Yin soon drove to the construction site of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. The light in the office of the engineering district headquarters was still on. Su Yin knew that he guessed right. It seemed that they hadn't finished their work for the day. As soon as the car stopped, two figures rushed over and waved their hands. Su Yin recognized them at first glance. They were the Zhang brothers. "Brother Yin, why didn't you tell us that you were coming over?" Zhang Wenning said with his eyes wide open. His joy was indescribable. Zhang Yongliang was so excited that he spoke incoherently. "Does Boss Tang know that you're coming? Oh, if she knows, she'll be so happy. I'll go and inform them now." Su Yin pulled Zhang Yongliang and returned the car key to him. "No, I'll go and find them myself. Take my godson here and wait for his friend." After that, Su Yin pointed at Bu Fifen. The Zhang brothers naturally didn't dare to neglect Bu Fifen's status. They immediately went forward to shake his hand politely, which made Bu Fifen feel a little embarrassed. Judging from the strength of their hands and the bulging veins on their temples, Bu Fifen was certain that these two were not ordinary people. It seemed that Su Yin was a big shot that he had not expected. When Su Yin brought Guogua to the office of the engineering headquarters, he heard Zhuo Meiyan and Tang Jiu discussing something in the room. Guogua couldn't help but knock on the door twice. "Let's talk about it later." Tang Jiu's voice sounded from within the room, following which she continued to discuss something with Zhuo Meiyan. Guogua wasn't angry at being rejected. Instead, she pursed her lips and deliberately said in a coquettish voice, "Sister Xiaojiu, is there anything more important than your sister's arrival?" Guogua's words scared Tang Jiu. Soon the sound of people getting up came from the office. Tang Jiu opened the door and didn't know what to say when she saw Su Yin and Guogua. Zhuo Meiyan, who was sitting on the sofa in the office, also opened her mouth wide in surprise. Su Yin's appearance was too sudden. He didn't even greet them before coming. What a huge surprise. "Oh my God, why are you here?" Tang Jiu couldn't believe her eyes and exclaimed, "Why, am I not welcome?" Guogua ran into Tang Jiu's arms with a smile and said coquettishly, "I haven't seen you for so long. I missed you, so I came here." Tang Jiu was delighted by this little cutie's words and hurriedly pulled her into the house. "Sister misses you too. It's just that I've been too busy recently and haven't had time to see you. I heard that you went to Shenzhen with Su Yun. How was it? Did you get used to it? A big city is definitely better than a small county." When sister found out that Su Yin brought you out, she was very supportive. Su Yin just laughed. He didn't do it on purpose. He just let nature take its course. He didn't agree with Tang Jiu's words. It was the same everywhere in the country. Big cities had the prosperity of big cities, and small cities had the comfort of small cities. As for people, it was up to them to adapt to life in that kind of city. Not all the people in the big cities were happy. There were also scavengers living in the shanty towns at the bottom. Not all the people in the small counties were poor. Nowadays, society was developing too fast. The streets of the small counties were not only filled with Mercedes-Benz and Audi, but also Porsche and Maserati were not rare anymore. "Looks like you missed Boss Tang too." Although Zhuo Meiyan was also excited when she saw Su Yin, she knew how to control her emotions and said indifferently, "I'm mainly here to see how the construction is progressing." Su Yin said, "How is it? Is everything going well since you came back?" Zhuo Meiyan nodded. "Yes, everything is going well. Don't worry. With me and Boss Tang working so hard, you won't be disappointed. When the film and television plaza is built, remember to burn incense in front of the old man's grave. It's all thanks to his blessing." Su Yin nodded. "That's for sure. I haven't been there in a long time. At least you have a conscience." Zhuo Meiyan smiled. That little brother of yours is having so much fun on Qingdao that he forgot to go home. I had Wang Zhe and Zui Yeming take him to a restaurant. Today is a good day to celebrate. The main framework of the film and television plaza is basically completed. Boss Tang and I are discussing the details. Since you're here, let's talk over dinner. Su Yin nodded. Okay. I'll also introduce you to my godson. Tang Jiu was very surprised when he heard this, but Zhuo Meiyan didn't have much of a reaction. She just shrugged and said, "You're not even married yet, and you already have a son and a daughter. Are you trying to kill us single women with jealousy? Let's go. Take me to see our son. Why didn't you let him in?" Bu Fifan waited for his brother, Wang Yu. The two were chatting at the door. Wang Yu was also surprised when he found out that the film and television plaza was the property of Bu Fifan's godfather. He was amazed and envious of Bu Fifan's good fortune. He had Aunt Yi in Xinjiang, who owned the Xingkai Hotel, and such a powerful godfather in Qingdao. When they left the office, Zhuo Meiyan saw the two boys beside the Zhang brothers. She walked up and asked directly, "Which one is my son?" Bu Fifan and Wang Yu were both stunned by the powerful Zhu Yeqing. They didn't know how to answer. Zhang Wenning pointed at Bu Fifan as a hint to Zhuo Meiyan. Zhuo Meiyan smiled faintly. "What an elegant eldest son. I can be considered a blessed person." "Who's your son? Can you not talk nonsense?" Bu Fifan didn't know that she was Zhuo Meiyan. Zhuo Meiyan didn't get angry. "Wow, what a temper. I like children with character. Su Yin has good taste. He knows how to pick." Just as Bu Fifan was about to explode, Su Yin walked up and pointed at Zhuo Meiyan. "This is your Aunt Zhuo Meiyan." Ah. Bu Fifan's eyes widened. Was this the white-lipped Zhu Yeqing Zhuo Meiyan that Aunt Yi always talked about? "What? Just call me godmother. I'll be your godfather's woman sooner or later." Zhuo Meiyan didn't care about the others around her. However, they probably wouldn't say anything to her. Except for Guogua, who would secretly stick out her tongue. Bu Fifan had never seen such a scene before. Wasn't this woman too direct? In fact, Bu Fifan already thought of Ruan Qingshuang as his godmother. Now that another one popped up, he couldn't handle it. For Guogua, who was used to this kind of scene, it was easy. "I'm afraid there will be a lot of people who want to be your godmother in the future. Just get used to it. Su Yin, your precious daughter is really good with words. I like it." Zhuo Meiyan turned around and smiled at Guogua. "Will you call me godmother too? That depends on your performance." Guogua shrugged. She wasn't afraid of Zhuo Meiyan's aura at all. "It seems like you're not bad to my dad. But I don't have the final say in the end. Just do your best. At least let this little guest see your sincerity today." Zhuo Meiyan really didn't know what to do with Guogua. She couldn't help but smile. Okay. I'll definitely do my best. Let's go. The restaurant has already been arranged. Let's eat the most authentic and fresh seafood today. What do you think? I was waiting for you to say that. Guogua said excitedly. Bu Fifan's friend, Wang Yu, couldn't stay calm. Everyone here was a big shot. He said weakly, "My family is in the seafood business. I want to ask which restaurant you booked. I'll know if the seafood is fresh or not." Zhuo Meiyan was stunned. "There's such a relationship? Then I really want to ask you. Is the seafood at Tianhai Hotel delivered by your family? Is it fresh?" Fresh. Wang Yu nodded vigorously. "Tianhai Hotel is my second aunt's restaurant. All of her seafood is supplied by my family. It's definitely fresh. If that's the case, then I'll treat tonight. You don't have to worry about paying the bill," Zhuo Meiyan said. "I'm very happy that my godson has such a loyal friend like you. If you have any problems in the future, you can tell Aunt Zhuo. I'll definitely help you." Wang Yu nodded, flattered. Being friends with Bu Fifan was not a waste. To be able to meet so many big shots in one night was a blessing from his past life. Su Yin shook his head helplessly. "Zhuo Meiyan, why did you have to tease him?" However, Zhuo Meiyan's actions seemed to have won over Bu Fifan. Unexpectedly, Bu Fifan said to Zhuo Meiyan, "Thank you, Aunt Zhuo." Su Yin couldn't help but look at Zhuo Meiyan in surprise. Was this the legendary making connections? This move of Zhuo Meiyan's was simply too miraculous. Seeing Su Yun's surprise, Zhuo Meiyan flicked her hair proudly. Let's go. Whatever you want to eat today, I'll pay for it. Tang Jiu had spent a lot of time with Zhuo Meiyan. He admired his elder sister's way of doing things. He had to admit that she had learned a lot. Tang Jiu, who had always been proud, had learned to be humble after taking over the Tang group. They all got into the car. The Zhang brothers led the way to Tianhai Hotel. On the way, Zhuo Meiyan called her younger brother, Zhuo Yeming, and told him that Su Yin was here, and that they had to treat him with the best hospitality. After hanging up, Zhuo Yeming shared the news with Lin Ge and Wang Zhe. Both of them were very surprised, especially Lin Ge. He had been planning to visit Su Yin the day after tomorrow. He hadn't expected him to come so suddenly. Madam, today's seafood must be the best. Zhuo Yeming went straight to the owner of the hotel, who was Wang Zhe's second aunt. The price is not a problem. Our guest is too important. We can't afford to be negligent. The owner nodded and patted her chest. She asked curiously, what guest is so important? My brother-in-law, my biological brother-in-law, Zhuo Yeming said seriously. Chapter 614. It was obvious that Su Yun's arrival excited everyone. Whether it was Zhuo Meiyan or Tang Jiu, although they were both strong women in the business world, they were still women. When they didn't have anyone to rely on, they would feel very tired. However, Su Yun's arrival brought them a kind of mental and physical relaxation. Although they didn't need Su Yun to do anything, the two of them still felt relaxed when they relied on him. At the dinner table, Su Yun introduced Bu Fifan to everyone one by one. Everyone was very friendly to Su Yun, their godson. As for Guogua, needless to say, she was a natural socializer, so she quickly got along well with everyone. Lin Ge also happily accepted that he would be Guogua and Bu Fifan's personal bodyguard during their vacation on Guqin Island. With Lin Ji's current level of strength, ordinary people probably wouldn't be able to touch or hurt him, unless there was a special accident. What's more, besides Lin Ge, Wang Zhe was also arranged by Zhuo Meiyan to be their bodyguard, part-time driver and ATM machine. Zhuo Meiyan would cover all of Guogua and Bu Fifan's expenses on Guqin Island. This was undoubtedly a way to quickly get closer to them. Although Guogua and Bu Fifan weren't the kind of children who lacked money, they were still very fond of Zhuo Meiyan's generosity. Su Yun didn't have any objection to Zhuo Meiyan's way of doing things. He knew what Zhuo Meiyan was thinking. She just wanted to get closer to the children around her, and didn't want everyone to be so restrained in front of her. During the meal, Tang Jiu told Su Yun about the construction plan for the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza in detail. About a week later, all the engineers and technicians would be preparing to return to their hometowns for the new year. During the Spring Festival, the construction would be stopped for a week, and after the new year, it would quickly resume and enter into a full-scale rush. According to common sense, such a huge project might take more than 2 years. But now, with their two-pronged approach of construction and renovation, they could save half or even more of the time. If there were no accidents, the project would definitely be completed in less than a year. If the weather was good all year and there were no major accidents, it might only take 10 months. Su Yun gave Tang Jiu very serious suggestions based on his analysis, and Tang Jiu humbly accepted them. Halfway through the meal, Su Yun finally had time to ask Zhuo Meiyan, "Where's Brother Dong? Why haven't I seen him yet? It was all thanks to his help last time. I should at least give him a toast. Is there something he needs to do, or? He's not on Qingdao now." Zhuo Meiyan dispelled Su Yun's doubts. After returning to Qingdao, Wu Yuandong seemed to have something on his mind. I asked him several times, but he said it was nothing. The next day, he told me that he wanted to take a leave of absence for a while. He wanted to rest and relax. Su Yun frowned. This didn't seem like Wu Yuandong's style. He couldn't have suffered from depression, just because of a trip to the snow forest in the northeastern Shangan Mountains. And then of course I agreed. Zhuo Meiyan shrugged. I felt that he needed to rest, so I gave him an indefinite leave. I thought that maybe he wanted to go back to Taiwan Island to take a look. I thought that he missed his family, so I let him go without worry. But later, I found that he didn't take the documents he needed to go to Taiwan Island. he wouldn't have rashly returned to Taiwan Island. The Sanlian Association is very powerful in Taiwan Island. If he could stay there, he wouldn't have run to a city in the northern part of Huaxia to make a living in Sky Entertainment Group. Su Yin said. He probably wouldn't have rashly returned to Taiwan Island. There's something fishy about this. Although he said this, Su Yin already had his own guesses. When he was in Shenzhen, Wan Qingshuang told him that Qin Wan was in charge of a very big case. The person who came was a major suspect on Taiwan Island. If Su Yun's bold guess was correct, this major suspect might be related to the Three Lotus Association, and also related to Wu Yuandong. At the very least, Su Yun couldn't find any reason why Wu Yuandong would return to Taiwan Island. There were only two possibilities for him to leave everyone's side. One was that he was afraid that his situation on Qingdao Island would be exposed and bring unnecessary trouble to others. The other was that he had some connection with the major suspect on Taiwan Island, and now he had gone to Xinjiang. These were the two possibilities that Su Yin could think of that were the closest to the current situation. If nothing unexpected happened, he was more willing to believe the first possibility. Of course, it wasn't completely impossible for a third possibility to exist. After all, Su Yin was human and not God. He was just making some guesses. Thinking of this, Su Yin couldn't help but worry about Qin Wan. At first, when Su Yin heard what Wan Qingshuang said, he didn't take the major suspect seriously. Su Yin felt that as long as the person could be monitored by the police, he shouldn't be a powerful person. However, now that he thought about it, this major suspect might be related to Wu Yuandong. This meant that he was also on the Sanlian Association's ship. He wasn't someone to be trifled with. Did he say anything before he left? Su Yin was still quite concerned about Wu Yuandong. A person's fate was often determined by their personality. Zhuo Meiyan shook her head. If he could say anything, I would have told you long ago. It's because he didn't say anything that I don't know how to explain it to you. After saying this, Zhuo Meiyan muttered to herself. It's better that I didn't know his identity. That way, I could have refused him. But now, I can't refuse anything he says. He's your brother, and I'm your brother. As his sister-in-law, I can't say no. Su Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Fine. Forget I said anything. Anyway, Brother Dong isn't a 3-year-old kid. Back then, he was able to escape from the Sanlian Association and hide in Sky Entertainment. This means that even if he can't beat them, he can still escape. Let's not worry about it. Let nature take its course. If he comes back, he'll come back sooner or later. If he doesn't come back, he won't come back even if we hope for him. Zui Yeming sighed and said, Sister, I told you not to raise his salary all of a sudden. Now Brother Dong must be under a lot of pressure, so he ran away. After all, his salary was only as a chauffeur. If you suddenly raise his salary tenfold, isn't it obvious that you want him to do other things? If it were me, I wouldn't do it. I would leave too. Even if he's only a chauffeur, I can't possibly give him that little money. Zhuo Meiyan glared at her brother. No matter what, he's still the hall master of the Qingshui Hall. Do you think he's like you, only knowing how to eat and wait for death? Shut up. You don't have the right to interrupt. The reason why Zhuo Meiyan was angry was because she had suspected that Wu Yuandong felt uncomfortable because she had given him a raise, and that was why he had left. However, she still refused to admit that it was because of her. Now that Zui Yeming brought it up, she felt that she had lost face. After being scolded, Zui Yeming immediately shut his mouth and ate. He knew his sister's temper very well. Don't worry. It's not because of that. Su Yin comforted Zhuo Meiyan. Brother Dong must have his own reasons for leaving. We can't make him stay just because we want to. Don't think too much about it. I'm sure it's because of Brother Dong. I know him. I feel much better after hearing your words, Zhuo Meiyan said with a sad expression. Zhuo Meiyan looked disappointed as she said, Actually, Brother Dong has been my chauffeur for so long, and he's always been very responsible. I'm really disappointed that he suddenly left. When I think about my past actions, I feel that I've let him down. When Bu Fifan and his friend Wang Yu heard this conversation, their jaws dropped to the ground. Although they were only students, they were very familiar with the name of the Three Lotus Society. They had all heard of it before. It was no joke. In their minds, the Three Lotus Society was an extremely powerful existence. Not to mention the fact that the 5 hall masters of the Three Lotus Society were figures of admiration. Even if they were asked to be cannon fodder in the Three Lotus Society, they would feel honored. Old Boo, how did you get to know such an awesome person? Does your homeroom teacher know that you're so awesome? Wang Yu whispered to Bu Fifan. Damn, if your homeroom teacher finds out, let's see if he still dares to punish you. Your father can wipe out his entire family with a single sentence. Damn, I still feel like I'm dreaming. The Three Lotus Society's Clearwater Hall Master is actually your godmother's chauffeur. You really opened my eyes when you asked me to come here today. I'm really impressed. I'll follow you no matter what. Bu Fifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He couldn't understand Su Yin anymore. Su Yin was becoming more and more powerful than he had imagined. He even felt a trace of fear toward Su Yin now. He didn't have this feeling when he first met Su Yin. When he first met Su Yin, Bu Fifan even naively thought about making Su Yin fear him. Now that he thought about it, he was really naive back then. I really didn't know about this. Bu Fifan shook his head helplessly. If I knew, I wouldn't have come with them. I would have asked you to treat me alone. Don't be like that. It's my honor to be able to dine with so many big shots today. Besides, even if I were to treat you alone, I would have invited you to eat seafood at my aunt's place. Wang Yu said, this is fate. Hee, can I also have a godfather or something later? Then this trip will be really worth it. Guagua heard their secret conversation and poked her head over with a serious expression. You're dreaming. Who do you think my dad is? Anyone can have him as their godfather. If it wasn't for my full recommendation, even Brother Bu wouldn't have. You're not related to us in any way. Why should we have to have you as our godfather? Wang Yu became anxious when he heard that. He hurriedly said, Sister, beautiful, beautiful sister, if you want to eat any fresh seafood in the future, just give me a call. I'll arrange for someone to send it to you by plane within 12 hours. As long as you're in the country, I guarantee that you'll be able to eat it within 12 hours. Guagua felt that this condition was quite tempting. She giggled and stood up to Su Yin. Dad, can I introduce you to another godfather? Su Yin didn't have time to play house with children now. He said to Guagua in a flat but serious tone, Eat your food obediently. We adults have something to talk about. If you're done eating, your Uncle Lin Ge will take you out to play. Chapter 6:15. Su Yin wasn't worried about Guagua and Bu Fifan. With 2 experts protecting them, the gangsters in the night market were nothing. After they left, Su Yin and the others quickly finished their meal. When they went to check out and return to the hotel, the lady boss refused to accept Swameyen's money. If I knew that you were the relatives of my nephew's good friend, I wouldn't have accepted your money either. The lady boss of the Sky Sea Seafood restaurant shook her head like a rattledrum. I promised my nephew that I would treat you all as my family. If I were to take your money, I would be going back on my word in front of my nephew. This meal must be on me. Please go back. If you want to eat seafood in the future, you must come here. I promise to give you the freshest seafood. Swameyen was helpless. It's natural to pay for a meal. If lady boss is like this, how can we have the nerve to come here again? Besides, even if we're close, you should give us a discount. Otherwise, I'll be really embarrassed. The lady boss hurriedly shook her head. You've eaten here so many times before. I won't lose money even if you don't accept my money this time. I know you don't lack money. Really, it's just a small token of my appreciation. Take it as my thanks for taking care of our business. Treat it as my treat. Thank you for your kindness, lady boss. If we come again next time, please don't be like this. Otherwise, we won't come again. Swameyen said. Next time we'll definitely come for a drink. Of course, of course. I should have gone to propose a toast to all of you today. But there was some trouble just now and I wasted time. I was just about to propose a toast to all of you when you finished eating and came out. The lady boss's mouth was very clever. It's all my fault. I'll definitely propose a toast to all of you next time and apologize. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Su Yin and his group left the restaurant happily under the polite greetings of the lady boss of the Sky Sea Seafood Restaurant. The lady boss was so polite that she would definitely bring back her customers. She must have heard from her nephew that they were all big shots with extraordinary backgrounds. That was why she insisted on waiving the bill. Although the bill was waived this time, Su Yin and the others could still easily earn back the money if they visited the restaurant a few times in the future. After all, the lady boss was a businesswoman. It was impossible for her to take care of your food and drink every time. At most, she would say a few polite words and give a toast and 2 dishes. It was just a small matter. After leaving the hotel, Zhuo Meiyan and Tang Jiu returned to the hotel where they were staying. As soon as they arrived at the hotel, Tang Jiu received a call from the director of the design company who was responsible for the design of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. He said that he suddenly considered the problem of drainage and crowd evacuation, and hoped that Tang Jiu could come to the site to discuss it with them. After all, the cinema plaza was built on the picturesque quicksand Golden Shore. Even if there was a 1 in 1,000 chance of encountering a tsunami, they still had to consider the possibility of water entering the buildings of the cinema plaza, evacuating people in an emergency, and building a drainage system. Of course, this was very important. Tang Jiu definitely wouldn't be careless. These things were the contractors' and designers' business. Naturally, he couldn't trouble Zhuo Meiyan. He could only say that after the plan was confirmed, he would ask for Zhuo Meiyan's opinion as the client. Su Yin wanted to go with Tang Jiu, but he didn't say anything when he remembered that he still had an important mission to do on the island. After seeing Tang Jiu and the Zhang brothers off, he returned to the hotel with Zhuo Meiyan. "Do you want me to get a room for you, or do you want to sleep with me?" Zhuo Meiyan joked as she walked to the front desk. She wanted to find a few rooms close to hers for Su Yin and the others. She didn't expect that a serious guy like Su Yin would do something intimate with her when he brought his children to the island. Su Yin's answer was completely out of Zhuo Meiyan's expectations. "Just get 2 rooms for Bufifan and Guogua. I'll sleep with you tonight." Zhuo Meiyan was stunned. She turned to look at Su Yin's expression. He didn't seem to be joking at all. Now, she was really dumbfounded. "What did you say? Are you kidding me? You want to sleep with me tonight? Let me say this first. I don't allow the person I like to sleep on the sofa in the suite. If you sleep with me in the room, then you'll sleep with me on the bed, right?" Su Yin nodded and didn't say anything else. Zhuo Meiyan could only sigh inwardly. God, did the sun rise from the west today? She was really puzzled. It was as if Su Yin had changed into a different person. She found it hard to believe. It was a little too exaggerated. However, she still followed Su Yin's instructions and only prepared rooms for Bufifan and Guogua. She also called Wang Zhe and told them to go to the front desk to get the room cards for the 2 children when they came back. Then, she took Su Yin back to her room. Zhuo Yiming, who had been silent all this time, started to wonder how his future brother-in-law's brain had been enlightened. He finally knew that his sister was the best. If he didn't get the chance to get close to her, he would definitely be an idiot. It seemed like he was really going to be promoted to a real brother-in-law. Guogua and Bufifan were having a great time at the famous snack street of Qingdao. Although the bumpy road during the day made them almost fall asleep by the time the car arrived at Qingdao, they didn't feel sleepy or tired at all now. Lin Ge was also happy to take them out to play, because the 2 little guys were just like him 2 days ago. They were full of curiosity about this place and wanted to eat and drink a little of everything. Moreover, they had a machine, Wang Yu, who would pay the bill. No matter what Bufifan and Guogua wanted to eat or take, he would take out his wallet without hesitation. He would even pay for Lin Ge and Wang Zhe's portions. "Little Boo, your brother is really generous." Wang Zhe shook his head helplessly. "Director Zhuo has arranged everything. I'll pay for everything. I haven't spent a single cent until now. You guys are really making things difficult for me." Brother Wang Zhe, don't be so polite with me," Wang Yu said. "We are all members of the Wang family. If we go back more than 10 generations, we might even be a family. My treat is equivalent to your treat. Bufifan and I are the best brothers in the school. He came to Qingdao. As the host, if I don't do my duty as a host, am I still a brother? Am I right?" Wang Zhe gave him a thumbs up. Brothers should be like this. You're so generous. Guogua didn't care who paid the bill, as long as she had fun. Finally, they were tired of walking, so they ordered some fresh barbecued seafood from a food stall by the sea, such as grilled squid, grilled abalone, grilled starfish, grilled clams. Although it was winter and the sea breeze was quite cold, they still ate happily. However, they still ate happily. Lin Gu and Wang Zhe ordered a few large glasses of draft beer. They drank while watching the three little guys wolf down the food. Perhaps in their eyes, the seafood in the seafood restaurant was not as good as the seafood in the roadside stalls. It was Guogua's first time eating grilled starfish. At first, she was a little scared, but after tasting it, she found that she couldn't help herself. And it was also her first time eating grilled abalone and grilled clams. It was completely different from what she had eaten before. Even though Guogua knew that eating too much grilled and fried food would hurt her stomach, she still couldn't resist the temptation of these delicious foods. After the three little guys gobbled down the food, Wang Yu still took out her wallet and shouted for the bill. In fact, it didn't cost much to eat these things, so Wang Yu still had more than 8,000 yuan left of the 10,000 yuan she brought out. The owner of the barbecue stall by the seaside with a crew cut smiled and threw the bill in front of Wang Yu. 14,900 yuan. I'll charge you 14,900 yuan. How much? Wang Yu's face changed. This was too much, wasn't it? 14,900 yuan? Even in the high-end seafood restaurant of his second aunt, these things wouldn't cost this much. The most expensive thing here was the grilled abalone that cost 100 yuan per skewer. 15 skewers would only cost 1,500 yuan. Guogua almost burst out laughing. Boss, are you crazy about money? What did we eat that costs more than 10,000 yuan? But the owner of the crew cut stall pointed at the bill impatiently. Abalone for 600 yuan per skewer. 15 skewers for you. So that's 9,000 yuan. Big starfish for 200 yuan per skewer. You asked for 10 skewers, so that's 2,000 yuan. Big skewers of squid are cheap. 100 yuan per skewer. You asked for 20 skewers, so that's another 2,000 yuan. Grilled clams are 1,000 yuan per skewer. That adds up to 14,000 yuan. 6 mugs of draft beer is 600 yuan. And the 5 mugs of freshly squeezed fruit juice is 60 yuan per mug. That's 14,900 yuan exactly. Charging you 14,900 yuan is already a lot. You son of a b*tch, do you think we're stupid? Wang Yu stood up and scolded in Qingdao's local language. F***ck, do you think we're foreigners? Young lady, show me your menu. The owner of the crew cut stall slammed the menu on the table. See for yourself. Wang Yu was the local bully in Bufifan's eyes. She couldn't take this lying down. She pointed at the menu and said, look, behind the abalone is 100 yuan. Behind the starfish is 20 yuan. Behind the squid is 10 yuan. Wait a minute. The owner of the crew cut stall didn't wait for Wang Yu to finish. He opened the folded menu again and pointed at the covered section. The abalone is 100 yuan per skewer. Those are the small seafood and squid. I asked you if you wanted the big or small one. You said, of course I want the big one. The section at the back is the big one. You didn't see it clearly. You can't blame me, right? If you don't have money, don't pretend to be rich. You wanted to treat your friends well. I didn't force you to ask for the big one. You're asking for the wrong price. Wang Yu said angrily. The owner of the crew cut stall sneered. I bought these things at the seafood market. Since I bought them, I should have the final say on the price. Wang Yu was dumbfounded. She knew she was being cheated. She didn't expect a local like her to have such a day. You know who I am. How dare you cheat me like this? I don't care who you are. The owner of the crew cut stall didn't hold back. Son of a b*tch, if you dare to talk dirty again, I'll beat you until your parents can't recognize you. Do you understand? Pay up and get out. Don't F***king talk nonsense with me. I'm not an unreasonable person. Since your friends are here, I'll give you some face. Give me whatever you have in your wallet first. Leave your phone here. Send the rest to me later, and I'll return your phone. The owner of the crew cut stall seemed to have seen the latest model of Samsung W2014 in Wang Yu's hand. This phone costs 16,000 yuan. Chapter 6:16. Wang Yu's heart sank to the bottom. He regretted it so much. As a local, he had fallen into such a lowly trap. How could he endure it? Moreover, he had done it in front of his good brother, Bu Fifan, and his little sister, Guogua, whom he had just met. Money was not a big deal. The most important thing was that he had lost face. Face was important. You want money, right? Okay, I'll call someone to send it over now. But that depends on whether you can live to receive the money or not. Wang Yu said unwillingly. In fact, he was very helpless at this time. He didn't know how to get back his face, so he could only vent his anger in this way. You're too naive. The stall owner sneered. Do you think I'll give you a chance to call the police? Kid, do as I say and get out of here when you're done. Don't force me to beat you. I forgot to tell you that I've been practicing Sanda since elementary school. I even won a prize in the Sanda competition in Qingdao. If you don't believe me, you can ask around. Stop talking nonsense. After that, the stall owner kicked over the chairs in front of Wang Yu and spat. Your father should have taught you that sometimes you have to learn to spend money to avoid disaster. Wang Yu's heart was filled with grief and anger. He really wanted to find a hole to hide in. But at this time, Bu Fifan stood up and stood in front of him. Maybe it was his brother's action that gave Wang Yu strength, so he forgot all his fear in an instant. Bu Fifan looked at the stall owner with cold eyes and said simply and straightforwardly, We've eaten a lot of your food. We'll give you the money we deserve, and we won't give you a cent if you don't deserve it. If you know what's good for you, you'd better settle your accounts right now. Don't make me be rude to you. How could a 13-year-old kid be afraid of a group of street thugs when he said you're welcome? Soon, Bu Fifan's words were ridiculed by the crowd. Following that, the stall owner raised the price again. My money has been in your hands for so long, and you still haven't given it to me. There's already interest now. 15,000 yuan. If it's a single cent less, don't King think about leaving. Gather the money now. Bu Fifan and Wang Yu were trembling with anger, but Guogua, who had seen the world, didn't react at all. She pointed at the table that had been kicked over by the stall owner and said, There are still things on it that we haven't finished eating. Since you sold it to us, we should have the final say on its value. That's what you said just now. If I say that this unfinished abalone of mine is worth 1 million yuan, are you going to give us the change instead? When the crew-cut stall owner heard the little girl use his own words to slap his own mouth, he was furious. He suddenly swung his arm at Guogua and said, Who are you, little girl? Get lost. Bu Fifan saw the situation and quickly stood in front of Guogua. He could take the slap, but he couldn't let Guogua suffer a loss. However, when the huge wind from the slap came, Bu Fifan heard a muffled sound. He didn't get slapped in the face. Instead, he saw that Lin Gu had suddenly appeared in front of the stall owner and kicked him more than 10 meters away. He didn't stop until he knocked over the charcoal stove of his barbecue stall. While he was struggling, the charcoal stove burned the stall owner's short hair and eyebrows. The sudden appearance of the Cheng Yaojin scared the thugs around the stall owner. Half a second ago, they saw him drinking draft beer 2 meters away. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of their stall owner and kicked him away. That speed was too strange, wasn't it? Bu Fifan and Wang Zhe both widened their eyes. Their jaws were about to hit the ground. Awesome. Awesome. Really awesome. Guogua said to Lin Gu as if she was used to it. Uncle Pigeon, you should hit him harder. These bad guys must have bullied many people in this way. If my dad was here, he would kick him in the face and make him look for his teeth on the ground. Lin Gu couldn't help but smile bitterly. Is that so? Well, I'll pay attention to my next kick. I won't let you down. At this time, one of the thugs wanted to attack Guogua, but before he could pounce on her, he felt his head go black. The huge pain from his mouth and nose made him fall to the ground and scream. He spat out a mouthful of blood and more than 10 teeth. Wang Zhe's high kick was really handsome. He didn't forget to pose and ask Guogua, Was it like what I did just now? Guogua nodded seriously and said with certainty, Yes, it was like that. Beat them until they look for their teeth on the ground. Since the evil little princess had spoken, Lin Gu and Wang Zhe, as her two uncles, of course, couldn't disobey. The two of them suddenly attacked from the left and right. More than 10 seconds later, the dozens of helpers of the stall owner were all kneeling on the ground. Everyone was holding their chins and howling in pain. Each of them spat out more than 10 teeth, but they didn't even see how the other party kicked them. The stall owner was completely scared out of his wits. He was still full of resentment when he was kicked, but now he was only scared and terrified. Who did he offend? It was simply not human. Bufifin swallowed a mouthful of saliva. None of the people around Su Yin were to be trifled with. They were all monsters. He had seen people who were good at fighting, but he had never seen anyone as good as them. Compared to Lin Gu and Wang Zhe, the fighting masters he thought were absolutely trash. Seeing this, Bufifin couldn't help but think of the Hunter Academy that Su Yin had mentioned to him. An inexplicable impulse rose in his heart. However, he quickly suppressed this impulse. There were some things that he had to bury deep in his heart. Wang Yu couldn't wait to kneel down and worship him as his master. This was too awesome. Too awesome. He imagined that if he could be at such a level, he would be a piece of trash when he went out in the future. No one would dare to mess with him. He would never be bullied again. Big brothers. Big brothers, what happened just now was a misunderstanding. I won't take a single cent from you today. Please let me go. I won't do it again. The stall owner was so scared that he stuttered when he saw them approaching him. Every time they bullied someone, they would judge the strength of the other party. This time, they never thought that there would be such a monster around the three kids. It's too late to admit your mistake now. Guogua said seriously. If I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know how to take responsibility for your mistakes. Uncle Pigeon his teeth. Lin Gu smiled and said to Bufifin and Wang Yu, I'll leave it to you, right? Make sure you aim at the middle of his head when you kick him. I guarantee that his front teeth will fall out with a single kick. You can try it. If the first kick doesn't work, you can kick him twice. If the second kick doesn't work, you can kick him thrice. Bufifin and Wang Yu were in high spirits. They rubbed their palms and walked forward. The stall owner quickly covered his face with his arms when they were about to kick him. Luckily, he didn't lose his teeth because of the two kicks. Bufifin and Wang Yu were very disappointed. They kicked the stall owner again and again. If you continue to block me, then I'll personally kick you. When that happens, it won't just be your teeth that will fall out. I'm afraid the bones on your face and arms will also suffer. Wang Zhe walked up to the stall owner who was hugging his head and suddenly kicked his crotch. The stall owner cried out in pain and covered his crotch with both hands. Wang Zhe gave him a look. Bufifin and Wang Yu both raised their feet and stomped on the stall owner's mouth. After two kicks, the stall owner didn't even have the chance to spit out his teeth. He swallowed them down along with his blood and teeth. You're promising, Wang Zhe praised the two. Hearing the wails of the hooligans behind them, Lin Gu and Wang Zhe happily returned to the hotel with the three kids. In Guogua's words, this was called clearly distinguishing between love and hate. As long as it was a bad guy, he should receive the punishment he deserved. Only in this way would they really think twice before doing such a heinous thing in the future. If they were let go just because they begged for mercy, they would definitely continue to bully honest people in the future. The punishment should be done in one step. Presumably, these fellows who could only live with fake teeth for the rest of their lives would never dare to do such a thing again. On the other hand, after Su Yin and Zhuo Meiyan went to the room, Zhuo Meiyan opened a bottle of champagne and poured a glass for each of Su Yin. Listening to the soothing music, the man and woman drank the champagne and felt the ambiguous atmosphere. This feeling was exactly what Zhuo Meiyan wanted. However, she didn't understand why Su Yin was so proactive this time. I'm going to take a shower. Do you dare to come with me? Zhuo Meiyan deliberately provoked him. I chose this hotel because the bathroom here is comfortable enough. It has a jacuzzi just like the bathroom in the suite in Xinjiang Xinkai Hotel. However, this bathtub is quite big. It's a waste for me to take a shower alone. Su Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yesterday, he teased Ruan Qingshuang. He didn't expect that retribution would come so quickly. Today, he was teased by Zhuo Meiyan on Qingdao. Do you really not see me as a man, or are you really that impatient? Su-yin shook his head helplessly. You've been tired all day. Go take a bath and relax. This wine is good. I want to drink another glass. Zhuo Meiyan looked at the remaining champagne bottles and said to Su-yin, if this wine can give you courage, I don't mind you drinking the whole bottle. Hee, take your time drinking. I'm going to enjoy the bathroom here. The door isn't locked. You're welcome to join us at any time. Such naked provocation and temptation made Su-yin unable to stay calm. Zhuo Meiyan was definitely the most seductive woman he had ever met. At least at this time, Zhuo Meiyan's every move was captivating. No matter how strong Su-yin's willpower was, he couldn't resist this fatal temptation. Watching Zhuo Meiyan walk into the bathroom, Su-yin drank the entire glass of champagne. He really didn't know if he would be unable to extricate himself from Zhuo Meiyan's gentleness. Although it wasn't the first time, Su-yin really couldn't remember what he did with Yumarin that night. How did they do it? God seemed to be playing a joke on him. The sound of water splashing in the bathroom could be heard, and Su-yin's thoughts became more and more chaotic. He could only quickly pour himself a glass of champagne. Like a victim who had just crawled out of the desert, he gulped it down in one gulp. It was as if his throat was smoking. Chapter 6:17. It wasn't just Su-yin who was feeling emotional on the luxurious double bed in the bedroom. He didn't know how to describe his feelings at this moment. In the large jacuzzi bathtub in the bathroom, Zhuo Meiyan's feelings were also complicated and tormented. She didn't know why, but when the opportunity she had been waiting for finally arrived, she suddenly felt a little hesitant. That feeling was like a young lady sitting in a bride's sedan chair. It was indescribable. In the past, she would always impatiently stick to Su-yin, as if she knew that Su-yin would reject her. But today, Su-yin's initiative made her feel a little strange. As for what kind of feeling it was, she couldn't put it into words. It could only be said that Su-yin's abnormality made Zhuo Meiyan feel a little lost. When facing Su-yin, Zhuo Meiyan could still be calm. But when it was her turn to think, she began to hesitate. She had never thought that she would hesitate when faced with the ambiguous branch that Su-yin took the initiative to throw out. However, all of this seemed to be happening unnaturally. But even if it was unnatural, Zhuo Meiyan would still take this opportunity to repay him. She owed Su-yin too much. Her life, her brother's life, her current life, and the fact that she could become Zhang Taisui's disciple. She owed Su-yin everything. Zhuo Meiyan knew that she had to take this opportunity. She could vaguely feel that she didn't have much time left. Ever since she returned from the Parkle clan in the Xing'an mountain range in the northeast, Zhuo Meiyan often felt a sense of powerlessness. Although the fierce battle that night made her feel that her strength and skills had increased, she also found that her mental state, which had been unable to break through, was holding her back. Zhuo Meiyan didn't know what the reason was, but she was very clear that if this continued, she would be unable to support her body for some reason sooner or later. If that day really came, Zhuo Meiyan would have no chance to repay Su-yin's kindness. Zhuo Meiyan wasn't afraid of death. Even if she died, she believed that she could go to the other side of the world to assist Zhang Taisui, the old man who had given her too much. If Su-yin was Zhuo Meiyan's savior, then Zhang Taisui was Zhuo Meiyan's second parent. Zhuo Meiyan walked out of the bathroom with anticipation and a little apprehension. She only had a towel wrapped around her body, but she was so enchanting. Her charm was enough to make any man bow down to her. Even Su-yin couldn't resist that seductive charm that seeped into her bones. After the woman came out of the bath, the faint fragrance on her body caused the atmosphere in the room to become flirtatious. For the first time, Zhuo Meiyan didn't know how to speak to Su-yin. For a moment, she wanted to use the champagne to calm her emotions, but she found that Su-yin had finished the entire bottle. Before Zhuo Meiyan walked out of the bathroom, Su-yin had thought that he would pick her up and throw her on the bed as soon as she came out. He would directly charge into the enemy's den. But when it really came down to it, Su-yin felt a knot in his heart. If it was purely for the sake of love, it would have been fine. But Su-yin was doing this to help Zhuo Meiyan break through the barrier that was obstructing her heart. At this time, how could he not feel complicated and disordered? In the end, Su-yin didn't charge into the enemy's den like he had imagined. He also didn't charge into the enemy's forbidden land and crazily take it for himself. He also didn't lead his army into the depths of the forbidden land. Su Yun stood up and said, "I'm going to take a shower too." Su Yun, who was always decisive, actually dropped the ball in this kind of thing. It wasn't that he was too weak, but he felt that if he did that, he would be letting Zhuo Meiyan down. Originally, this kind of thing between a man and a woman should be mutually in love. At the right time, at the right place, push the boat with the current, and let nature take its course. Naturally, things would happen. That kind of time could be called enjoyment, and it could be called love. If he only relied on this kind of belief that he had to do something, Su Yun really didn't know how to deal with it. However, when Su Yun left, Zhuo Meiyan seemed to let out a heavy sigh of relief. What was going on today? Zhuo Meiyan's mood was so complicated that she didn't know what to do. Su Yun temporarily left the bedroom. He stood under the shower and let the cold water wash over his body. He needed to calmly deal with the problem. He needed to calmly face all the situations that he should face. The cold water seemed to be very effective. Su Yun was quickly washed clean. Although he was very clear that if he did that kind of thing with Zhuo Meiyan, it wouldn't be an opportunity that came naturally. It would be a kind of mission and responsibility, but he still decided to carry out this mission and responsibility. This was because he thought of Yu Marin. Although Yu Marin and Su Yun could be considered childhood sweethearts, their first time together didn't come naturally. After Yu Marin received Wang Yi's request for help, didn't she also carry a sense of mission and responsibility, and do those things that shouldn't be a mission and mission with him? God really liked to play tricks on people. At least, that was what Su Yun felt. When he thought of the things that Yu Marin did for him with a sense of mission and responsibility, Su Yun seemed to have thought through everything in an instant. He decided not to hesitate anymore. At least for now, Yu Marin was still conscious. When Zhuo Meiyan did it to him, he was basically a completely unconscious person with no consciousness. Until now, Su Yun didn't know that his brother could still stand up when he was unconscious like that. It really was an animal's nature. On the way back to the hotel with everyone, Lin Ge suddenly thought of a question. Because these kids kept bothering him, he didn't have a chance to ask Su Yun. Now that he finally had some free time in the car, he sent a message to Su Yun. He wanted to ask if he had seen Gu Zueran in Xinjiang, and if Gu Zueran had said something to him that made him suddenly come to Xinjiang. Soon Lin Ge typed the message and sent it out. "Brother, Gu Zueran told me that he would wait for you in Xinjiang. He said that you would only listen to his advice if he saw you in Xinjiang. He also said something to me before. He said that if you want Zweiking to live, you have to complete the yin and yang intercourse and help it break through its mental state." At that time I didn't quite understand. He said that he would tell you this personally, and I only needed to tell you that the people in Xinjiang are in danger. Since you can bring Guogua here, it means that the danger in Xinjiang is definitely over. Now I understand that you came to the Zither Island specifically to look for Zhuo Meiyan, right? At this moment, Su Yun was taking a shower in the bathroom. Since he had made up his mind, he had to give Zhuo Meiyan an unforgettable night. Of course, he would also give himself an unforgettable night. When Su Yun's phone rang, Zhuo Meiyan unintentionally glanced at it. She swore that she definitely didn't want to peek at Su Yun's privacy, but she accidentally saw the sentence, "If you want Zweiking to live, you have to complete the yin and yang intercourse." For a moment, Zhuo Meiyan couldn't control her curiosity. She directly opened the message and read it. Zhuo Meiyan was stunned. Her mind was blank. She didn't know what she was thinking at this moment. Could it be that Su Yun came to find her this time, and took the initiative to do so because of this? It wasn't because he was attracted to her at all. Everything was because of a single sentence from Gu Zueran. Because of that single sentence, he carried the responsibility and mission to complete the so-called intercourse of yin and yang with her. This couldn't even be counted as love between a man and a woman. This was just a mission, a mission. The answer made Zhuo Meiyan's mood very, very bad. She had already mustered up the courage to face Su Yun, but in an instant, all her courage had disappeared. No wonder Su Yun's behavior at night always made her feel strange. Su Yun finally cleaned himself up. He took a deep breath and prepared to be straightforward with Zhuo Meiyan. Anyway, he was going to do what he had to do. Why would he wear clothes or wrap a bath towel? He could just go out directly. After wiping himself clean, Soo-yeon directly pushed open the bathroom door and walked out. He was completely prepared for Soo-yeon to greet him with a shy scream and provoke him. However, there was no one in the room. Where was Soo-yeon? Where was she? Soo-yeon was dumbfounded. He stupidly stood naked in front of the bathroom door. His originally valiant and high-spirited little brother also hung his head. What was going on? Wasn't she already cleaned up and prepared? Why did she suddenly disappear? Could it be that Soo-yeon wanted to do something fun with him? Was she going to suddenly attack him? Was she going to rape him? This was too much fun. He couldn't accept doing something so flashy on their first time. Just as Soo-yeon was puzzled, his phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was from Lin-gu. Brother, why didn't you reply? Didn't you receive the previous one? Receive what? Soo-yeon was stunned for a moment. He quickly opened his phone and saw a message. The message had already been read. When he saw the content, he was also dumbfounded. Soo-yeon must have seen this message when he was showering, and then suddenly disappeared from the room. F***ck. Soo-yeon was furious. He directly replied to Lin-gu. Reply my ass. You're messing with me. Don't send me anymore. I don't have time to chat with you. After Lin-gu received Soo-yeon's message, he actually replied with a smirk emoji and added, Understood, understood. You do what you need to do. I won't disturb you anymore. I wish you golden gun doesn't fall. Another 300 rounds. F***ck. Soo-yeon didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Golden gun doesn't fall. Another 300 rounds? He didn't even have one round now. Forget about 300 rounds, his golden gun was already raised, but he didn't discover any enemy at all. What the F***ck was going on? If there was someone to blame, it was that bastard Lin Ji's fault. Why did he have to send a **T message at this time? He really couldn't do anything right. This was the rhythm of digging his own grave. Soo-yeon had already showered. Where else could she have gone? Soo-yeon's face was only left with a bitter smile. Man proposes, God disposes. In the face of unforeseen events, he had to face what he had to face. But this unforeseen event came too suddenly, didn't it? It was like reading a YY novel. When you saw a passionate scene, your pants were already taken off, and then there was nothing else. How could the audience endure this? Chapter 6:18. Soo-yeon quickly put on his clothes. He didn't know where Soo-yeon went, so he could only rush downstairs to the front desk of the guest room center to ask, Hello, I want to ask if you have seen a tall and proud woman about this tall. Soo-yeon said as he gestured. The girl on duty at the guest room center didn't need Soo-yeon's description to know. Because Soo-yeon and Soo-yeon were both handsome and stunning, she remembered them. You mean the beauty who was with you just now? The one who booked 2 rooms and left her room card here, right? Soo-yeon hurriedly nodded. Hearing the girl's tone, he said, Yes, that's her. Did you see where she went? The girl on duty at the guest room center smiled. During this period of time. Where did Dad go? And where did time go? We're trending. Just after the where did the plane go? Incident, you came here to ask where your girlfriend went. Handsome, you are too trendy. Soo-yeon wasn't in the mood to joke, but because he had a request, he didn't want to lose his temper. He could only ask again. Beauty, if you know where she went, please tell me, did she go out? Of course she didn't go out. It's already 10 o'clock at night. Of course a beauty wouldn't run around. I really don't know what happened between the two of you. She booked another room on the 6th floor, room 605. If you have a conflict, quickly go and coax her. The girl on duty at the guest room center said. She looks very disappointed and in a bad mood. Soo-yeon let out a long sigh of relief. As long as he knew that Soo-yeon didn't run out, it was fine. Otherwise, it would be difficult to find her. Thank you. Beauty, don't worry. I will definitely tell your manager that your service is too good. I will definitely ask him to give you a bonus. In the future, if anyone from our company comes to stay here, it will all be because of your face. The girl on duty at the guest room center was flattered and smiled beautifully. How could she not be happy to be appreciated by such a handsome guy? Moreover, they were all rich people. No wonder they didn't feel any heartache when they booked a room. It turned out that they owned a company. It must be a big company. Su Yun took the elevator to the 6th floor and knocked on the door of room 605 without hesitation. Zuomeyan, it's me. I know you're in there. Open the door and let me explain this to you. Hearing that Su Yun was here, Zuomeyan knew that she couldn't hide. With Su Yun's personality, if she didn't open the door for him to explain, he would definitely break in. It would be troublesome if that happened. Not only could she not avoid it, but she also had to pay for the hotel room. Money was a small matter, but trouble was big. Zuomeyan opened the door. She was still in low spirits. Su Yun finally let out a sigh of relief. At least Zuomeyan was still willing to open the door for him. Let me explain. Su Yun closed the door as Zuomeyan walked back to the bed and sat down. Su Yun, I don't want to listen to anything right now. Zuomeyan said. Just now, I didn't ask for your permission and accidentally read your message. I hope you don't mind. I want to say that I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't want to read it at first, but it was a coincidence. I'm sorry. Su Yun was already very apologetic. Now that he heard Zuomeyan say this, he felt very uncomfortable. Meiyan, listen to me. I'm not talking about you reading my message. I want to say that the content of the message isn't what you think it is. You don't need to say anything. I understand. Su Yun, I'm not an unreasonable person. Believe me, I definitely don't mean to blame you. I just feel that I can't accept this reality. Zuomeyan said indifferently. I've always hoped that we could have the kind of feelings that I imagined. I hope that our story can be more perfect and not like this. Su Yun sometimes felt that he was very stupid when it came to matters between men and women. He wasn't good at it at all. I know what you mean. I know that you don't want me to talk about love with you with a mission. I also know that it's not fair to you at all. But this happened when neither of us was prepared. I can't just watch you. Zuomeyan smiled. I understand. Zuomeyan smiled faintly. I understand. I understand what you mean. I also know that you've put in a lot of effort. But I really can't accept that you're only with me because of a mission. A mission. I owe you too much. And I don't want the only thing that I can repay you with, my precious first time, to become a reality that you've accepted to save me. This is too cruel for me. I'd rather die than go through this again. I really don't mean that. Su Yun said. I really didn't accept you to save you. Don't think like that. Also, I've never thought about how you'd repay me. When I saved you and Zui Yeming, I never thought about anything in return. I only hoped that you could survive. That's enough. That's the best way to repay me. I also owe Zhang Taisui a favor for surviving. If his death could be replaced with mine and my brother's life, I wouldn't hesitate to do so. Zuomeyan said. But I can't see the King of Hell and the Black and White Impermanence. I can't negotiate with them. I owe Zhang Taisui a favor, and it's the biggest regret in my life that I can't repay him. So I don't want to leave any regrets on the debt I owe you. Su Yun knew that it was useless to say anything to her now. Then what will make you feel like you've repaid me? Do you have to repay me before you'll be happy? Will we be able to call it quits if we do that? You've taken care of the old man for so many years. You've been with him until the end of his life. You've also helped me manage the Sky Entertainment Group for so many years. You've helped the old man complete his dying wish. How do you want me to repay you? I've never thought of asking you to repay me anything. You gave me my life. Everything I do for you is what I should do. Zuomeyan said without hesitation. Su Yun nodded. Okay, that's what you said. Everything you do for me is what you should do. Now, I want you to live for me. I want you to live for me and accept everything I'm going to do to you. Before Zuomeyan could even react, Su Yun had already lifted Zuomeyan up and threw her onto the bed. She then took a step forward and straddled Zuomeyan's body. Everything happened too quickly. Zuomeyan didn't even have time to react before Su Yun started to get serious. When Su Yun's warm lips met Zuomeyan's cold lips, Zuomeyan melted. She didn't resist at all. She enjoyed Su Yun's dominance. She enjoyed his tongue mercilessly prying open her teeth and teasing the tip of her tongue. That crazy kiss was like a dragon exploring its lair. causing Zhuo Meiyan to be unable to breathe. She could clearly feel the passion from Su Yun's body. This was definitely not a mission or mission. This was the kind of madness and unruliness between a man and a woman. Zhuo Meiyan resisted at the beginning. Then, she allowed herself to be taken advantage of. Now she took the initiative to cater to him. Everything happened so naturally. The two of them seemed to have melted together. They rolled around on the huge bed. Su Yun finally reached out to unbutton Zhuo Meiyan's collar amidst the crazy kisses. His trembling fingers unbuttoned the buttons one by one. He was as careful as if he was entering enemy territory. Zhuo Meiyan's wriggling body seemed to be very cooperative with Su Yun's hands as he unbuttoned her collar. She allowed Su Yun to caress every inch of her skin as he undid the last button. Su Yun quickly conquered 2 mountains and conquered Zhuo Meiyan's heart. He kept kissing Zhuo Meiyan's neck, her ears, and slowly moved down. Zhuo Meiyan's entire body felt like it was on fire. That heat burned every inch of her skin. Her entire body was filled with a scorching temperature. Even though Su Yun had already peeled off her upper body layer by layer, Zhuo Meiyan still felt her body heat up uncontrollably. Zhuo Meiyan could only feel a trace of coolness where Su Yun kissed. However, after the kiss and Su Yun's lips and tongue left, that place that had just felt a trace of coolness would burn up again. It was so hot that Zhuo Meiyan could only wriggle her body crazily to feel better. Su Yun's lips quickly moved down Zhuo Meiyan's neck. When his warm and moist lips touched the forbidden area on Zhuo Meiyan's chest, Zhuo Meiyan moaned softly. Zhuo Meiyan enjoyed the torturous feeling. At this moment, she felt as if she had completely wrapped Su Yun in her body. It was as if Su Yun's entire body belonged to her. Zhuo Meiyan liked this feeling. She liked that Su Yun was teasing the forbidden area on her chest again and again. The two of them continued to melt. Zhuo Meiyan's hands had unknowingly lifted up Su Yun's clothes. When Su Yun raised his head, she took off all of his clothes. Zhuo Meiyan threw Su Yun's clothes to the side and hugged the body that was as hot as her own without hesitation. When the two hot bodies were pressed together, the heat seemed to rise again. It was so hot that the two of them had no choice but to fumble and explore to take off their clothes. When the clothes were thrown to the side of the bed, the two of them became more and more naked. At some point, Su Yun finally took off the last piece of underwear on Zhuo Meiyan's body. Then he instinctively searched for that warm place. Zhuo Meiyan's pandering and Su Yun's initiative allowed the two of them to become one. When Zhuo Meiyan finally felt that she had completely wrapped herself around Su Yun, she felt that she was so happy. Everything was proceeding and developing normally. Some things didn't need textbooks or lecturers. It was completely natural. Su Yun also finally understood the beauty of this. After all, he really didn't know anything about the night he and Yu Marin were in perfect harmony. Zhuo Meiyan wildly moaned without restraint. She didn't care about the soundproofing of the hotel room at all. She also didn't care if someone heard her. At this moment, she only wanted to enjoy this special pleasure that only Su Yun could give her. Everything had happened too suddenly. She wasn't mentally prepared at all. However, this kind of suddenness seemed to be able to make them feel this special feeling and emotion. Everything in the room seemed to have stopped. Only the man and woman on the bed were left. Chapter 619. After an unknown amount of time, Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan finally fell asleep in each other's arms. When everything was over, Su Yun only felt that the sky was dark. He didn't even know what he had just done. Everything was like a dream, and it happened so naturally. Su Yun only remembered that the moment their bodies touched, he had already forgotten about his mission. There was no complicated reason for what he wanted to do with Zhuo Meiyan. It was just a man and a woman, instinctively doing things that made each other happy. It was that simple. Although the two of them who had exhausted all their strength fell into a deep sleep, the others who couldn't find the two of them were at a loss. Lin Ge thought that they should be the last to return to the hotel, but when they got back, except for Guogua and Bufifan, no one else was in the hotel. Wang Zhe was also very surprised. Didn't they say that they would go back to the hotel after dinner? And after not seeing each other for so long, they must have a lot to talk about. How could they not find each other? Guogua shook her head and sighed. There must be some interesting place on Qingdao. and they left us to have fun by themselves. Uncle Pigeon, quickly call my dad and ask him to tell us where they are. It's better to have fun together than alone. Lin Gu agreed with Guogua's last two sentences. It was better to have fun alone than to have fun together. He immediately dialed Su Yun's number, but no one answered. At this time, he could only look at Wang Zhe for help. Wang Zhe understood Lin Ji's meaning and immediately called Zhuo Meiyan, but the result was the same. No one answered. Wang Zhe had no choice but to knock on Zhuo Yiming's room for a while. Zhuo Yiming's sleepy voice came from inside. Who is it? F***CK, it's so late. Can't you let me sleep? Then came the sound of footsteps and complaints. It's tiring to work at the construction site during the day, and you don't let me sleep at night. Zhuo Yiming opened the door and saw these guys coming back from the snack street. He frowned impatiently and said, If you're done eating and playing, go back to your room and sleep. What are you doing? Are you going to show off what you ate and played in front of me? TSK, I don't care. I've been to all the places on Qingdao. Don't show off. I want to sleep. Since you've eaten and played everywhere, you must know where my dad and the others went to play, right? Guogua said. Where did they go? Zhuo Yiming's eyes brightened up. They went out to play. F***CK. Why didn't they bring me? What kind of brother-in-law is this? How can he treat his brother-in-law like this? They sneaked out to play and left me to sleep here alone. That's disgusting. Bu Fifan helplessly rolled his eyes at Zhuo Yiming. It seemed that this guy didn't know anything either. So, no one else knows where they went? Yes, I'll call Zhang Wenning and ask if they're with Mr. Tang. Wang Zhe quickly made a call and then said to everyone disappointedly, Mr. Tang received a call from the decoration company. They need to change the design of the drainage system urgently tomorrow, so they went back to the construction site with the Zhang brothers. Brother Yin and Mr. Zhuo are not with them. So they're the only ones who can't be found now. Zhuo Yiming touched his chin and said, Forget it. It's fine if they can't be found. They're so old that they can't get lost. Since they didn't answer the phone, it means that they don't want to answer it. Maybe they haven't seen each other for a long time and have something to say. Lin Gu also nodded thoughtfully. It seemed that his guess was right. Su Yin came to Qingdao this time to find Zhuo Meiyan. He must have met Gu Zueran in Xinjiang. Gu Zueran must have said something to him. Yes, since we can't find them, let's go to bed. Lin Gu said to Guogua. Don't worry, your dad must have something important to do. If he's really going out to play, he'll definitely bring you along. How could he just leave you alone in the hotel without asking about you? Don't you think so, Guogua? Guogua shook her head and denied Lin Ji's reasonable words. She said, I don't think my dad has anything important to do. If he came to Qingdao to deal with something important, why would he bring me and Brother Bu here? Humph, I think he's having an affair. Lin Gu was shocked. The intuition of children these days was really accurate. She guessed it right. Damn, she's not normal. She's really not normal. Forget it. She's an adult. She should do something that adults should do. Guogua waved her small hand understandingly and said, Anyway, she can't leave me and Brother Bu alone. Let's play by ourselves. We don't have to worry about her for a few days. Bu Fifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry at his little sister who was acting like an adult. However, he didn't care why Su Yin came to Qingdao. It was enough for him to have his brother, Wang Yu, to play with him. Moreover, he had Guogua, a happy person, and Lin Gu and Wang Zhe, two experts, to protect him. He was very satisfied. After giving up on looking for Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan, everyone went back to their rooms to sleep. As for Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan, they could do whatever they wanted. They didn't even care about Guogua. Who else would have the time to worry about them? It was a quiet night. Everyone slept soundly. When Su Yun opened her eyes, the sun had already left a fish-belly white mark on the thick sunshade curtain. This clearly proved that today was a great sunny day. It seemed that the air and weather on Qingdao were many times better than in Yanjing and Northern Ji. Just as Su Yun was about to get up, a body on the other side of the bed wriggled. When that smooth and warm skin touched Su Yun's thigh, Su Yun's mind buzzed. He quickly went back to 7 or 8 hours ago. The crazy scene of him and Zhuo Meiyan on this bed rushed into his mind. Holy sh*t. Su Yin could only sigh with emotion about his bravery and martial prowess last night. Everything happened too suddenly and too dramatically. After so many twists and turns, Su Yin didn't even know what kind of thoughts he had when he did those things with Zhuo Meiyan last night. Zhuo Meiyan hadn't woken up yet, but Su Yin had a guilty conscience. He carefully put down Zhuo Meiyan's arm on his thigh, and gently put on all his clothes. After a simple wash, he sneaked out of the room. Su Yin took out his phone, and found that it was almost 9 o'clock. He really didn't know how long they had been crazy last night. He still felt tired and sleepy now. At this time, Su Yin saw a few missed calls on his phone. They were all from Lin Ge last night when he and Zhuo Meiyan were making love. Su Yin quickly called back. "You called me last night. Brother, aren't you talking nonsense? If I didn't call you, why would I call you? Where are you now?" Lin Ge said bluntly. "I called you 3 times last night, but you didn't answer. Even if you didn't want to answer, you should have sent me a message to tell me where you were so that I wouldn't be so worried." Su Yin said embarrassedly. "I'm at the hotel. Don't worry." Brag again. "Do you think I didn't go back to the hotel last night?" Lin Ge said. "Come on, I won't expose you. It's fine as long as you're fine. F***ck, I'm at the hotel. Are you in the room? I'll go find you now." Su Yin said. Lin Ge waved his hand and said, "Even if you're at the hotel now, I'm not. You left Guogua, such a little demon, with me. I'm helping you take care of the child. It was only 5 o'clock this morning, and she asked me to take her and Bufifan to see the sunrise by the sea. We're climbing the mountain after watching the sunrise. Guogua said she wanted to feel the feeling of a mountain towering over the sea." "Hee, thank you for your hard work." Su Yin smiled and said, "I'm relieved that Guogua and Bufifan are with you. Come on, I'll be your nanny. You can do whatever you need to do." Lin Ge said, "I know you must have met Guzueran. He's told you everything. You should take the initiative. When a man and a woman are together, if the man doesn't take the initiative, then there's no chance." Su Yin was speechless and said, "Okay, don't worry about it. Take care of the child." After hanging up the phone, Su Yin felt a little hungry. He left the hotel and took a taxi to a Guqin Island restaurant. Guqin Island's shrimp dumplings were very famous. It was definitely suitable for Su Yin, who was hungry in the morning, to have 2 bowls. After wolfing down the food, Su Yin finally let out a long sigh of relief. He had done what he needed to do. Whether it was because they liked each other and let nature take its course, or because of the mission in his heart, at least Su Yin could rest assured that nothing would happen to Zhuo Meiyan. To be honest, he didn't know how to face Zhuo Meiyan now. At least during the day, he needed time to calm down. Zhuo Meiyan also needed time to calm down. After breakfast, Su Yin really didn't have anywhere to go. The only thing he cared about in Guqin Island was the Guqin Film Plaza. So Su Yin could only take a taxi and go directly to the Guqin Film Plaza. The construction of the plaza was so smooth because of Tang Jiu. Su Yin felt that he should find a chance to thank her properly. At this time, Tang Jiu was probably busy at the construction site of the Guqin Film Plaza. It was almost the end of the year. She must be under a lot of pressure. Soon, the taxi arrived at the construction site of the Guqin Film Plaza. Su Yin paid the fare and got out of the taxi. He was ready to help Tang Jiu. Although he didn't know much about construction, he still had some basic knowledge. No matter what, he was a national high-level talent who had received high-end education in the Dragon Brigade. As soon as Su Yin got out of the taxi, his sixth sense gave him a bad feeling. He looked back and saw a black Rolls-Royce Phantom parked not far from the construction site. 2 men in black suits stood on both sides of the car. Even though they were wearing sunglasses, Su Yin still felt that they were looking at him. Su Yin did not know what kind of mentality he was in, but in the end, he made a choice that even he did not expect. He actually took a step forward and walked straight to the luxury car. Su Yin had a vague feeling that the person in the car was looking for him. A feeling was just a feeling. There was no reason. At the same time, Su Yin also felt that the people in the car were looking for him with ill intentions. Chapter 620. Su Yin leisurely walked to the side of the expensive Rolls-Royce Phantom. The men in black suits beside the car began to look vigilant. Soo-Yun really didn't understand why they were vigilant. It was their boss who came to find trouble with him, not him. Even if they were nervous, it should be him who was nervous. Soon, Soo-Yun walked to the side of the car, and the men in black suits all had their hands behind their backs. They put their hands on the back of their waists, as if they were ready to shoot at any time. Since Soo-Yun dared to walk here, he was not afraid that they would dare to shoot. He smiled slightly without any malice. You are the ones who came to find me. You are also the ones who have guns in your hands. I am the one who is in trouble. I am also the one who is unarmed. So you don't have to be so nervous, right? Soo-Yun said lightly. Because the car was full of privacy glass, and the curtain of the side window was closed, he couldn't see the situation in the car at all. However, so far, the car didn't open, and no one came out to greet him. This made Soo-Yun a little surprised. Was there no one in the car who really wanted to find him? Just as Soo-Yun was puzzled, the door of the car's passenger seat opened. A well-proportioned young man with an elegant hairstyle came out. He looked about the same age as Soo-Yun. This was not the point. The point was that his aura was similar to Soo-Yun's. Soo-Yun finally understood why this person got out of the car now. It was nothing more than to give him the cold shoulder. Mr. Soo is really worthy of his reputation. Whether it is insight or mentality, they are far better than us ordinary people. The man with the elegant hairstyle who got out of the car said lightly, even if you foresee danger, you can still walk leisurely. It is really something we can't compare with. No wonder our boss repeatedly warned us to be polite to Mr. Soo. Soo-Yun's expression didn't change at all. If you are an ordinary person, then how can a real ordinary person live? Don't you think so? The man with the elegant hairstyle didn't joke at all. Since you are our boss's guest, then I am an ordinary person compared to you. Mr. Soo, get in the car. Then Soo-Yun smiled and said, all right, let's not talk nonsense here. Whoever wants me to be their guest should come and find me personally. If they were just looking for a lackey to run errands, wouldn't they be looking down on me? Doesn't that mean I don't feel like an honored guest? What do you think, commoner? Mr. Soo, I've already given you enough face. If you insist on doing this, then don't blame me for being impolite. A cold light flashed in the eyes of the man with the flowing hair. It seemed that if Soo-Yun did not cooperate, he would make a move at any time. Soo-Yun smiled disdainfully and pointed to the police car that was passing by not far away. Do you see? Now is the time when Qingdao is cracking down on prostitution, gambling, drugs and gangs. It's the time to build a civilized city. There are police cars all over the streets. You want to fight with me? Unless you're out of your mind. Tell your men to take their hands off their backs. Don't let the police suspect you. Even if I stand here and don't move, I'll still bully you because you don't dare to shoot. Make it clear that your boss asked you to come and invite someone. You can't invite someone without sincerity. The man with the flowing hair didn't seem to expect that Soo-Yun would be so uncooperative. His expression was a little impatient. Mr. Soo, you're right. Our boss asked us to invite you, but Huaxia has an idiom called first try peaceful means before resorting to force. You shouldn't go too far. The person who invited me didn't come out to meet me. What kind of courtesy is this? After Soo-Yun finished speaking, he turned around and left, leaving only one sentence. After an hour, ask your boss to wait for me in this place in person. Maybe I'll meet him and make friends with him when I'm in a good mood. The man with the flowing hair couldn't wait to rush up and make a move, but he was very clear that his boss's order was invite and not tie. Seeing Soo-Yun walk away, the man with the flowing hair gnashed his teeth in hatred. He suddenly wanted to punch the car door, but the fist he swung out abruptly stopped. This was his boss's car. The man with the flowing hair couldn't express his anger. He could only turn around and punch one of the men wearing a black suit. The man in the black suit screamed miserably. The man with the flowing hair was sent flying more than 10 meters away and fell heavily on the ground. Such a powerful punch was definitely not something an ordinary person could have. Soo-Yun didn't hear the sound behind him. He now began to roughly understand who was looking for him. That Rolls-Royce's license plate number was from the Yanjing area. And that man with the flowing hair was definitely a super expert. Apart from that big boss, Who else could have such grandeur? However, Su-Yun really didn't expect that this guy could find him so quickly. This was really beyond Su-Yun's expectations. Since Su-Yun left Xing Anling, it could be said that he didn't have a fixed place to stay. He had been in the process of acting. How did the other party find him so accurately? If interesting. It seemed that this big boss was more difficult to deal with than he thought. While he was thinking about this, Su-Yun had already arrived at the headquarters. The Zhang brothers, who had been arranged by Su-Yun to help Tang Jiu, immediately came to greet him and took Su-Yun to the office to find Tang Jiu. To be honest, Su-Yun was really grateful to the Zhang brothers. With them by Tang Jiu's side, he was much more relieved. Tang Jiu was now wholeheartedly focused on the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. This was not because her Tang group needed this project to make a living, but because this project was Su-Yun's godfather's last wish. She must do her best to make it perfect. Although it was impossible to have a perfect building in this world, Tang Jiu still wanted to strive for the best. Therefore, even though it was so late last night, when she received the proposal from the design director of the decoration company about the irregularities in the drainage system and the passenger evacuation system, she immediately asked to go to the site to see it before making a decision. It could be said that because of this matter, Tang Jiu was almost busy until 3 o'clock in the morning before returning to the hotel to sleep. Today, she came to the headquarters of the engineering department again at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tang Jiu was very clear that she had to perfect all the details. Only then could she have time to spend with her father during the new year. Although the construction of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza site would continue for a few more days, Tang Jiu didn't have time to continue wasting time here. There were still many things waiting for her to deal with in the Tang group. After all, it was the new year. No company was idle. As the young president of such a large group, Tang Jiu still had a lot to learn. So naturally, she was busier and more tired. Don't be so busy every day. You have to strike a balance between work and rest. Pay attention to your health. You have dark circles under your eyes at such a young age. What if you can't get married in the future? Su-Yun smiled and said softly. Tang Jiu was looking down at the drawings. When she heard Su-Yun's voice, she was startled. She hurriedly raised her head and said, "Why are you suddenly here? Where is President Sua? Isn't he with you?" It just so happens that the drainage system and passenger evacuation system were just improved yesterday. Take a look. Isn't it more perfect now? I'm just here to see you. Don't talk about work, Su-Yun said. As long as you think there is no problem, I'm relieved. It doesn't matter if the construction period is a day earlier or later. You mustn't collapse from exhaustion. Otherwise, I'll feel too guilty. Tang Jiu put down the pen in her hand and looked at Su-Yun with a faint smile. Why do I suddenly feel that you are so good at talking? Do you feel sorry for me for working so hard? That's right. It's not just sorry. It's really sorry. Su-Yun. Right now, I can't wait for you to go back to the hotel and have a good night's sleep. Only then will I feel at ease. Don't worry. If I'm tired, I'll naturally take a nap on the sofa here. Tang Jiu pointed at the sofa recliner. There was a thin blanket on it. Don't feel sad when you see it. I'm just saying. I really haven't slept on it. Su-Yun frowned slightly. He didn't believe Tang Jiu's last sentence. He walked straight to the sofa. Su-Yun picked up the thin blanket and sniffed it. He said to Tang Jiu in a guilty and reproachful tone, "If you haven't slept on it before, why does it still have your body's smell? In the future, don't stay up here. If you're tired, ask Zhang Wenning and the others to send you back to the hotel. The weather is cold now. You'll catch a cold." Tang Jiu's mind wasn't on Su-Yun's advice. She stared at Su-Yun with wide eyes. "Do you have a dog's nose? How can the blanket have my body's smell? You're saying it as if you've smelled my body before. You think I haven't smelled it before? It's not like we haven't slept on the same bed before. Who doesn't know who the other is?" Su-Yun rolled his eyes. "Let's not talk about that time at the hotel. When I was in Jibei, didn't I sleep with you in your room? I know very well what your body smells like." Tang Jiu's face and ears turned red from Su-Yun's words. "Lower your voice. People will misunderstand if they hear you." At this moment, Zhang Wenning and Zhang Yongliang, who were outside the door, looked at each other and nodded in admiration. Su Yun was indeed their idol. Not only could he handle a woman as cold as white lips, bamboo leaves, Qingzhua, Meian, he could also handle a strong woman like Tangjiu. Just as their hearts were filled with admiration, Su Yun's voice came from inside the room. You two stop standing outside and eavesdropping. It's not what you think it is. Stop thinking blindly. Go do what you need to do. Zhang Wenning quickly waved his hand and called for Zhang Yongliang and Zhang Wenning to quickly leave the door of the headquarters office. He was secretly delighted. There must be something going on between the two of them. Otherwise, he wouldn't be afraid of them eavesdropping. Brother, when should we learn from Brother Yin and learn how to pick up girls? Zhang Yongliang said to Zhang Wenning with a smile. Zhang Wenning rolled his eyes at his brother. Want to pick up girls? Learn from Brother Yin? Forget it. I think you should save it. Find time to smooth out the birthmark on your face before talking about picking up girls. F***ck. You're talking as if you don't have one on your face. Zhang Yongliang said disdainfully. I'm not going to get a birthmark. My body was given to me by my parents. Even if it's a birthmark, it was given to me by my parents. If I get a birthmark, I won't be called Ghostface Azura anymore. Maybe some brothers in the underworld will give me face and call me Jade-Faced Azura instead. Zhang Wenning almost burst out laughing. With your face, you call yourself Jade-Faced Azura? Ha ha ha, you're a red-faced monster, ha ha ha. Chapter 621. Tangjiu hadn't seen Su Yin for a long time. Yesterday there were many people around, so she didn't talk much. Now that she had a chance to be alone with Su Yin, she naturally had a lot to talk about. She had learned from Guogua that they had all moved to Xinjiang, so she was worried about her father's situation in Hudong. I wonder how my father is doing in Hudong alone. Don't worry. Most of the people in Hudong are my brothers, and there are also people who stayed behind to take care of the medicinal cuisine business. I told them to tell Uncle Tang if he needs anything. Su Yin. Also, the municipal party secretary of Hudong is Qin Waner's father. I heard from Chang that their seniors like to fish at night, and they became friends by chance. So don't worry. Uncle Tang's connections in Hudong are stronger than yours in Jibei. I'm afraid he should be more worried about you now. Don't worry. Tangjiu didn't expect her father to be so powerful. He had become so familiar with Hudong in such a short time, and even made friends with the municipal party secretary. It seemed that her worries were unnecessary. No wonder I've had feelings for Hudong since I was young. Haha, now it seems that it's fate. I didn't expect my father to enjoy his old age in Hudong. Phew, I'm going to Hudong for New Year's this year. Since you're almost done with your work in the company, you should take a vacation early and accompany Uncle Tang. Take it as a way to relax. Su Yin looked at the time. An hour passed quickly. I have a friend who wants to see me. It's almost time. He should be coming to pick me up. I'll go first. Don't make yourself too tired. Okay. Su Yun's concern warmed Tangjiu's heart. Take care. If you have things to do in Qingdao, just do it. Guogua and the others are here to play. Don't worry. With Lin Gu around, Su Yin was naturally at ease. Tangjiu and the Zhang brothers sent Su Yin out of the command center. They saw a Rolls-Royce parked across the road not far away. Su Yin pointed at the car and signaled that they didn't need to send him off. Tangjiu didn't know that Su Yin had such a powerful friend on Qingdao. Anyone who could ride a Rolls-Royce was no ordinary person. Zhang Yongliang watched enviously as Su Yin walked up to the Rolls-Royce. He witnessed someone open the door for him and invite him into the car. He couldn't help but sigh. Brother Yin really makes me feel more and more mysterious. I don't even know how awesome he is. Just thinking about it makes me feel that he's unfathomable. Too awesome. Super awesome. We can't catch up with Brother Yin even if we flatter him for several lifetimes. Haha, so we must do what Brother Yin tells us to do well. Zhang Wenning said. We must protect President Tang's safety and take care of his daily life. Tangjiu had been in contact with these two for a long time. He didn't think that they were ugly and scary. Okay, stop flattering me. I haven't reached the point where I can't take care of my own life, right? Go do your work. After I finish sorting out this information, I'll rest early today. I'm going to play with my sister Guagua. The Zhang brothers watched Tangjio walk back to the command center's office and looked at each other. Tangjio and Guagua were godsisters. Guagua was Su Yun's goddaughter. Su Yun and Tangjio had an ambiguous relationship. This relationship was really complicated. They didn't know when Guagua would suddenly realize that she had to call her godsister godmother. Su Yun walked to the side of the Rolls-Royce. Immediately, someone opened the door for him. Su Yun didn't hesitate and got in directly. He knew very well that the big boss didn't do anything to him this time. Instead, he sent his right-hand man to pick him up. This was an olive branch. Since the big boss wanted to recruit Su Yun, he must have taken a fancy to Su Yun's strength and talent. That was why Su Yun did what he did just now. Even if he didn't want to accept the big boss's olive branch, he still wanted to do something for him. Who asked this bastard to almost kill him with a gun in Wang Xingyu's boudoir? After Su Yun got in the car and closed the door, he quickly saw the big boss that he was curious about. Middle-aged. It was difficult to estimate his specific age from his appearance. His body wasn't fat, but it wasn't skinny either. It was just a little less than symmetrical. The man with slicked back hair was very stylish, but he didn't have the confidence and pride that such a powerful person should have. His eyes weren't deep, but he couldn't tell what he wanted to say. The first feeling that this person gave Su Yun was that he was uncomfortable. Something was wrong, but he couldn't see through it. "Hello, Mr. Su." The big boss smiled and finally spoke to Su Yun, who was sizing him up. "I heard from Zhang Meng that you wanted me to pick you up personally. Only then would you give me face. I'm coming right now." I don't know if this sincerity can move Mr. Su and make you smile. At this time, the car had started. The guy with the elegant hairstyle was sitting in the front passenger seat. It seemed that he should be the Zhang Meng that the big boss was talking about. Su Yun ignored the big boss's question. Instead, he looked directly at Zhang Meng and said, "Where are we going now? You took me away without my consent. This should be considered kidnapping and abduction, right? That's against the law." Zhang Meng turned around and glared fiercely at Su Yun. "Our boss is talking to you. You told him to come personally, and he came personally, but now you're not giving him any face at all. Surnamed Su. What on earth do you want? Do you want us to use force to make you happy?" Su Yun smiled lazily, not at all thinking that his actions had offended the big boss. After Zhang Meng vented, Su Yun said indifferently, "Your boss likes to joke too much. I told him to pick me up personally, but I didn't tell him to get an imposter to pick me up. Hee, but since he put in so much effort, it can be considered that he thinks highly of me." Su Yun's words instantly caused the expressions of everyone in the car to change, especially Zhang Meng, who was sitting in the front passenger seat. He stared at Su Yun with wide eyes, then looked at the big boss's double. It could be said that the makeup was perfect. How could Su Yun tell that it wasn't? Wait a minute, that wasn't right. Even if the big boss's double didn't wear makeup, then Su Yun shouldn't have known that he was a double, because Su Yun had never met the big boss before. Thinking of this, Zhang Meng couldn't help but take a deep breath. Who on earth was this guy? How could he be so sure that the big boss had used a double? It seemed that he had really underestimated this guy. No wonder the big boss hadn't issued a kill order for this guy. It turned out that he really wanted this guy to be under his command. An imposter will always be an imposter. Su Yun smiled slightly. Without waiting for them to ask, he muttered to himself, how could a guy who doesn't even have the slightest bit of arrogance become the boss of such a large multinational corporation? How could he control so many capable captains of the Viper expedition? And how could he make a ruthless Zhang Meng by his side obediently submit to him? Seeing that he had been exposed, the imposter didn't dare to say anything more. He squatted aside obediently and didn't say anything. He felt uneasy. He really didn't know if he would be scolded by the big boss when he went back. Hearing this, Zhang Meng sneered. Thank you for your compliment. I just realized that ruthless is actually a compliment. Whether the same idiom is complimentary or derogatory depends on who is using it. Su Yun said lightly. Since you think I'm complimenting you, then shouldn't you let me know where you want to take me? Zhang Meng said expressionlessly. Mr. Su, I'm really sorry. No matter if I tell you the destination now or not, you can't not go. So why are you still asking so much nonsense? Even if I don't tell you, I won't stop the car and let you leave. I don't need you to stop the car, but I can tell you that if I don't know the destination, I will definitely leave. Su-Yun's smile was very calm. But if I don't stop the car, how are you going to leave? Zhang Ming deliberately argued with Su-Yun. Su-Yun also put away the smile on his face and said to Zhang Ming without any trace of politeness, "Then you can try and see if I can leave. Haha, if you go back with an empty car, I'm afraid your big boss will scold you, right? Do you want to bet on it?" Zhang Ming was once again choked by Su-Yun. He realized that even if he didn't stop the car, it wouldn't be difficult for a super master to move. He really didn't expect that Su-Yun was such a difficult person to deal with. No wonder the big boss asked him to do this in person. After 3 minutes of silence, Su-Yun said lightly, "Have you thought about it? The big boss has a private club in the eastern suburbs of Qingdao, only for him and his most important friends to enjoy. This time he is going to receive you there." Zhang Ming said, "Are you satisfied now? Our big boss is sincere, but I don't see any sincerity in Mr. Su." "Sincerity? Do I need sincerity?" Su-Yun asked back. "It's your boss who asked you to beg me to go there. I didn't ask to see your boss. What sincerity do I need?" "Haha, I think you must be mistaken. If you need my sincerity, you don't need to send your lackey to pick me up again and again. Don't push your luck." Zhang Ming suddenly clenched his fists. Su-Yun still had an indifferent look on his face. "You dare to hit your boss's VIP? I think you're tired of living." Although Zhang Ming was annoyed by Su-Yun calling him a lackey and really wanted to beat Su-Yun, he was also clear about why the boss asked him to come here. No matter how angry he was, he would never dare to hit Su-Yun. Su-Yun seemed to have taken a fancy to this point and provoked Zhang Ming again and again. Finally, Zhang Ming stopped talking and just looked at the front silently. Su-Yun took out a cigarette from his pocket and lit it, smoking leisurely. It wasn't because Su-Yun was addicted to smoking, but because he felt that there was no smell of tobacco in the car. It seemed that the big boss didn't like the smell of tobacco, so he wanted to keep some for him as a souvenir. "Who allowed you to smoke in the car?" Zhang Ming saw Su-Yun smoking and was about to fly into a rage on the spot. Su-Yun didn't care and spat out a mouthful of smoke. "The guest can do whatever he wants. You don't even know this shit. I really don't know why your boss asked you to pick me up. It's just a cigarette. Don't make a fuss. Lead the way properly. I promise you I won't litter the car with cigarette butts." Chapter 622. After the car entered the fast lane, it was unimpeded all the way. The journey of less than half an hour was absolutely nothing for Su-Yun, who had recently been driving far away, but for Zhang Ming, who couldn't stand Su-Yun's various ways of finding trouble, it was a bit long. Zhang Ming felt that the worst thing he had ever done in his life was to put up with such a guy who kept pushing his bottom line. Because Su-Yun not only smoked on the road, but also flicked the ash all over the car. In Su-Yun's words, he was already giving face to the big boss by not throwing the cigarette, but on the luxurious leather seat of the car. As long as Zhang Ming said one more word, Su-Yun would retort, "The car isn't even yours. You're just basking in my limelight. Big boss arranged for you to pick me up in a car. If I say that I don't want to go with you or sit in the same car as you, then you'll have to run and roll back. Do you understand?" For such a guest, Zhang Ming couldn't wait to slap himself. He really hated it to the roots of his teeth. After the car finally reached the destination, Zhang Ming's resentment in his heart was half relieved. As soon as the car entered the gate of the club and stopped outside a beautiful 3-story building, Zhang Ming couldn't wait to open the door and get out of the car. The imposter, who had been seen through by Su-Yun at first glance, could only lower his head like a defeated rooster and resentfully open the door and leave. Su-Yun sat in the car and looked at the scenery and trees through the open door and window. This was definitely a place with good feng shui. It was surrounded by mountains in the east, west, and north, and there was a natural lake in the south. It could be said that it was a picturesque place with mountains and water on one side. Of course, it was only one of the most basic principles of feng shui. The mountains were the skeleton of the earth, and the water was the source of all living things. Without water, people couldn't live. Although Su Yun was not a fortune-telling master, he was still very interested in feng shui. He had read a book called 10 Books of Yang House a long time ago, which was a book from the Qing dynasty. It said that the place where people lived should be based on the earth, mountains, and rivers. Its origin was the most powerful, and it was the most important thing for people to live in. Therefore, the study of feng shui emphasized mountain topography and put the small environment into the big environment. Su Yun's geographical knowledge was not bad. He was naturally more clear about the geographical situation of his own country, Huaxia. Every 8 degrees or so, there was a large latitudinal structure, such as the Yinshan latitudinal structure of Tianshan Mountain, the Qinling latitudinal structure of Kunlun Mountain, the Nanling latitudinal structure, and so on. Therefore, there is a saying, in the world, there must be a river between 2 mountains, and there must be a road above the river. Huaxia's mountain ranges were divided into 4 rows and 9 mountains. Su Yun remembered reading a book about the basic knowledge of feng shui. Feng shui was particular about the continuous mountain range called the Dragon Vein. The Dragon Veins originated from the Kunlun Mountains in the northwest, and 3 dragon veins extended to the southeast. The northern dragon entered Shaanxi from the Yin Mountains and the Helan Mountains, starting from Taiyuan and crossing the sea. Middle dragon went from Min Mountain to Guangzhou, to Qin Mountain to the sea. The south dragon went from Yunnan to Guizhou, Hunan, Fujian, and Zhejiang to the sea. Every dragon vein had dry dragon, branch dragon, true dragon, false dragon, flying dragon, hidden dragon, and flash dragon. To survey feng shui, one must first understand the ins and outs, and follow the direction of the dragon vein. The shape of the dragon vein was different from the power. 1,000 feet was the power, 100 feet was the form. The power was the distant view, and the form was the close view. The power was the worship of the form, and the form was the accumulation of the power. The power was then formed, and the form was then known. The power was outside, and the form was inside. The power was like a city wall, and the form was like a pavilion. The power was like a group of undulating peaks, and the form was like a single mountain. It was difficult to recognize the power, but easy to observe the form. The power was like a dragon, like a horse galloping, like the waves of water. It wanted to be big and strong, different and specialized, and go smoothly. The form had to be thick, accumulating, and hiding qi. Su Yun did not get out of the car for a long time. Zhang Meng could not bear it anymore. He walked to the car door and said to him, "We've arrived. What are you doing in the car? Get out. The big boss has been waiting for you for a long time. What else do you want? Don't be too unappreciative. Can you not speak so immaturely?" Su Yun disdainfully lit another cigarette. "I'm already here. I've given you all the face. Your big boss arranged a substitute to pick me up. It's good enough that I'm not angry. Since I've arrived, he should more or less come out to welcome me personally, right? That's the way to treat a guest. Don't be so shameless." Zhang Ming spat. "If you don't have a light in your heart, you'll die miserably. You'd better follow me in before the big boss gets angry." Su Yun looked at Zhang Ming without blinking. "Logically speaking, you should hope that I'm the kind of person who doesn't have a light in my heart, right? You must also hope that I die miserably. Hee, now I'm giving you a chance to extinguish the light in my heart. Don't you want to seize it?" Zhang Ming was stunned. He began to recall the meaning of Su Yun's words. Soon he understood. "How is it? My suggestion isn't bad, right?" Su Yun saw the resolution in his eyes. "Go and find your big boss. Ask him to pick me up at the car door. If he gets angry after hearing this, then he'll definitely order you to kill me directly. I'll wait in the car, waiting for you at any time." Zhang Ming's eyes spewed out a strong anger. He sneered. "You asked for it. Then don't blame me for being merciless." Su Yun nodded. "Yes, I asked for it. You don't have to give me any face. Go do what a lackey should do." Humph. Zhang Ming couldn't care less about Su Yun's words. He hoped to see the big boss immediately and get the big boss's order to kill this unappreciative bastard. Only in this way could he vent the hatred in his heart. Because he had some knowledge of feng shui, Su Yun knew very well that it was best to have a mountain of court cases where the dragon veins gathered. The mountain of court cases was like a mountain in the shape of an arched table in the court, like the ministers surrounding the monarch. The mountain of court cases could block the wind, and was very interesting. There was a book called Zhu Zi's Language that mentioned the environment of Yanjing. The book described it like this. Jidu mountain range came from the clouds, surrounded by the Yellow River. Mount Tai towered to the left as a dragon. Mount Hua towered to the right as a tiger. Mount Song was the first case, the mountains of Huainan were the second case, and the mountains of Jiangnan were the third case. Since ancient times, there was no better place to build a capital than Jidu. With Yanjing as the center, the mountains of the country as the court cases to show the superiority of Yanjing's geographical environment. Observing the small environment from the big environment, one could know the restrictions and influences of the small environment, such as water sources, climate, products, geology, and so on. The good or bad luck of any piece of land was determined by the big environment. Just like a traditional Chinese doctor who felt the pulse, one could know the general condition of the body from the pulse, because this was determined by the function of the cardiovascular system. Only when the situation was perfect would the land be perfect. Every city was built. Every building, every factory, they should first investigate the environment of the mountains and rivers. Looking at the big picture and working on the small, there would be no worries, and then the fortune would be great. Obviously, the private clubhouse that Su Yun saw now, with the big environment of Guqin Island, was definitely comparable to the central location of Yanjing in the country. That was why Su Yun dared to say that this place was a place with good feng shui. Whether it was the big environment or the small environment, he could not find any problems with this place. If Su Yun was forced to say that this place was not good, Su Yun could only say that the owner of this place was not a good person. But since ancient times, how many real good people could occupy such a precious place with good feng shui? Su Yun's unappreciative behavior was definitely not to anger the big boss who invited him here. He knew very well that the more unappreciative he was, the more interested that person would be in him. If he behaved very obediently, he would not be able to arouse the big boss's interest in him soon. Su Yun's prediction of the cut was so accurate. Indeed, Su Yun's unappreciative behavior made the big boss more interested in Su Yun. It was not that he had never seen a master or a supermaster. There were supermasters working for him, so he definitely did not care about Su Yun being a supermaster. What he cared more about was Su Yun's character. So when Zhang Meng came to the big boss and told him about Su Yun's request, the big boss was not angry. Instead, he waved his hand and slapped Zhang Meng, scolding him. "Trash, I asked you to pick him up and treat him like a distinguished guest. You must have done something out of line to make the guest make such a request." Zhang Meng was angry, but he did not dare to say anything. "I didn't. It's just that the guy's surname Su went too far. He doesn't know how to appreciate favors. You are like this in front of me. If you are not in front of me, you might have said something to Mr. Su to anger him." The big boss's deep eyes made Zhang Meng unable to see what he was thinking. However, he was sure that he had never shown such great interest in a person. He really did not know who this guy surnamed Su was. He actually made the big boss so interested. The big boss, who had not hit Zhang Meng for so many years, actually slapped Zhang Meng again. After this slap, the big boss seemed to suddenly realize that Zhang Meng was someone who had followed him through life and death. He had blocked knives and guns for him. He immediately comforted him. "I didn't want to slap you just now. I wanted you to remember that you can't have any personal feelings when you do things. Little Meng, you have been with me for so many years. You should be very clear about my character. There are not many people I can trust, but you are one of them. So you can rest assured that even if someone I like comes to me, you will never have a place in front of me. Do you understand what I mean? Thank you for your appreciation, boss. Little Meng is unable to repay you. I am willing to sacrifice my life for the boss." Zhang Meng seemed to enjoy the feeling of being valued. But then again, Su Yun's request was really too much. In this clubhouse, no one had enjoyed the treatment of being welcomed by the big boss. Ordinary people were lucky enough to be invited here. It was already a great honor given by the big boss. Boss, but that kid's request is really too much. Zhang Ming said. You have a distinguished status. No matter what, you can't personally pick him up, right? If this were to spread out, wouldn't it be a disgrace to you? Chapter 623. No one could change the big boss's mind. Zhang Ming was very clear that the big boss's interest in Su Yin was far greater than his interest in all of them. Even he and Liu Bei had not received such high interest and appreciation from the big boss back then. Even though he was now the most trusted assistant of the big boss, and Liu Bei was the most valued captain of the big boss. Just now, the big boss said that he trusted Zhang Ming the most, but Zhang Ming didn't think so. Since Liu Bei betrayed him, Zhang Ming felt the big boss's change. He didn't trust anyone, including himself. And not only did he lose trust in his own people, but he also became more alert to any partners. What the big boss said to Zhang Ming just now was just to appease him. Zhang Ming knew it very well. But he didn't dare to say no. But he really didn't understand why the big boss, who had lost trust in all of them, was so interested in a guy who disturbed his plan in the ice forest of Xing and Mountain. After the big boss made the decision, Zhang Ming didn't say anything. He quietly watched the big boss put on his coat and walked out of his reception room. Zhang Ming followed him out. He would never disobey the big boss again. The slap just now was a good warning. Li, go and prepare some tea. After the big boss walked out of the reception room, he said to Li Chun, the female assistant in charge of everything in the club. Li Chun nodded at once. Yes, big boss. What do you want to drink? Well, the big boss thought for a while and shook his head. Wait a minute. When the guest comes up, ask him what tea he wants. We Huaxia people are particular about drinking tea. I don't know whether my guest likes black tea or green tea, whether he likes guanyin or oolong. Ha ha ha, I'll prepare it later. Don't worry, don't worry. Yes. Li Chun obeyed everything the big boss said. She knew clearly what she should do and what she shouldn't do. The big boss was 53 years old. His surname was Bao Tianxia. Since he was a child, his family hoped that he could be ambitious and tolerant. Bao Tianxia, who was born poor, didn't let his family down. He made his first pot of gold when he just entered society at the age of 16. Of course, his first bucket of gold was not so easy to earn. He earned it by helping a group of tomb robbers in Changsha. At that time, the group of people had agreed with him that they would only act as a lookout, and that they would give him 10,000 yuan after the deed was done. However, when the group of grave robbers returned empty-handed, they only gave Bao Tianxia 1,000 pieces. At that time, Bao Tianxia didn't understand the logic behind this, but he could see the huge disappointment in these people's expressions. He knew that they really didn't earn much, even if it was 1,000, because it was their first time working together. Even if those guys returned empty-handed, they still gave Bao Tianxiao a lookout commission of 1,000 yuan. Therefore, Bao Tianxia felt that this group of people was quite reliable. After all, when Bao Tianxia was still a child, 1,000 yuan was definitely a huge sum of money. That was why there was a second cooperation. Bao Tianxia could see the true joy and excitement on their faces after their second cooperation. Of course, they agreed to pay Bao Tianxia 10,000 yuan as commission this time. So the other party gave it to him without hesitation. But this time, Bao Tianxia made a request. I want 100,000. At that time, the group of grave robbers thought that he was crazy and gave him a good beating. They asked him if he was indulging in fantasy and daydreaming. 100,000 yuan from Bao Tianxia's mouth was an exorbitant price to that group of people. It was too much. He was just a lookout. He didn't experience the danger of corpse poison, didn't fight with dumplings that suddenly appeared, and didn't get hurt by the ancient tomb's traps. How could he get 100,000 yuan? However, Bao Tianxia's reason was very simple. The first time you went to the tomb, you didn't get anything, so you only gave me 1/10 of the commission. I didn't have any complaints. Therefore, this time you have a great harvest. Even if you give me 10 times the commission, it wouldn't be too much. The market price at that time was very clear. There were only 2 lookouts, and even the most experienced lookout could only get 20,000 yuan at most. No matter what good things they obtained in the tomb, they were exchanged for by risking their lives. Bao Tianxia, who didn't know the rules, was not only beaten up, but also chased away without getting a single cent. As for why those people didn't give him a single cent, it was because they wanted to charge him for teaching him the rules. Asking for an exorbitant price was an act that broke the rules. They taught Bao Tianxia, so they should take the education fee from his pocket. Bao Tianxia, who couldn't accept the current situation, kept a grudge in his heart. Although he was chased away, he didn't stray too far from the group of tomb robbers. He found a blacksmith shop and stole a sharp dagger. In the dead of the night, they sneaked into the house where the grave robbers lived. Because they had made a fortune this time, they drank a lot of wine and fell asleep drunk. Everyone forgot that Bao Tianxia had the key to the house. This group of people who didn't set up any defenses had their throats slit by Bao Tianxia overnight. The smart Bao Tianxia killed one of them and threw the stone into the Yangtze River. He then left with all the loot. When the police investigated in the future, they followed the clues and found everyone in the tomb robber group, but only one person was missing. All the reasoning was focused on the missing person. Everyone was confused by the scene and thought that it was an internal conflict. The missing person killed everyone and left with the loot. Because there wasn't such advanced technology back then, they couldn't find the person who was thrown into the Yangtze River by Bao Tianxia. In the end, the case was left unsolved. After the commotion died down, Bao Tianxia brought the loot to Beijing. He heard from the tomb robbers that there was a ghost market in Beijing that sold goods in the wee hours of the morning. Bao Tianxia came to Beijing to sell this batch of goods. Although things didn't go smoothly after that, Bao Tianxia relied on his cleverness to avoid danger. In the end, he made a fortune from selling this batch of goods. At that time, he suddenly realized that compared to the several million value of this batch of goods, even if he wanted 100,000 as a lookout, it paled in comparison. Therefore, Bao Tianxia used this money to recruit his own people to search for clues all over the country. Unknowingly, he became the largest tomb robber group in Huaxia. Because this kind of thing was done secretly and carefully, it was hard to be discovered. In addition, Bao Tianxia was smart and cautious when selling goods, so he was never caught. Later on, the country's crackdown on this aspect became stricter and stricter. Bao Tianxia set up his own multinational trading company. This was a company that sold dog meat under the sheep's head. Its only use was to use the excuse of foreign trade to transport national treasures to the high seas and then conduct on-site transactions on the high seas. Although it had become a secret that was no longer a secret, Bao Tianxia had never revealed it to the public. It wasn't that the police didn't investigate Bao Tianxia, but now the police needed evidence. Without evidence, they couldn't do anything to someone like Bao Tianxia. Bao Tianxia relied on his brain and the skills he gained from fighting with Zongzi in the ancient tomb to reach his current position step by step. If what he did was not illegal or criminal, he could really be considered a genius of his generation. Smart people always knew when to do what. This was why Bao Tianxia had such a strong interest in Suyin. He lost so many people in the Battle of Xing and Mountain Range's snow forest, including his own son. Now he was short of manpower. Moreover, that damn snow forest of Xing and mountain range seemed to have been set up by someone. Even if he knew the coordinates of that place and arranged for people to search for it, they would never be able to get past that forest of cedar trees. In such a harsh environment, it was impossible to rely on manual logging. The forest was too dense and couldn't be cleared in 1 or 2 years. Moreover, there would be forest police patrolling every week. It was a protected forest, so it was impossible to get a logging permit. After considering all kinds of factors, Bao Tianxia made the most important decision, which was to recruit Su Yun, who had done something absolutely unforgivable to him this time. Only by taking down Su Yun could he solve all the problems he was facing. This was why Bao Tianxia didn't directly arrange for people to kill Su Yun when he found him. Instead, he sincerely invited him. When Bao Tianxia came downstairs, he saw Su Yun sitting in his luxurious car and smoking. He didn't care at all when he flicked the ash. Although it couldn't be said that his car was dirty, it still made Bao Tianxia a little unhappy. However, people of his age and status didn't have patience and endurance that young people didn't have. This was the difference between him and Zhang Meng. Even if he didn't like Su Yin, he still smiled and said to Su Yin, "Brother Su, I invited you here without telling you in advance. You won't mind, right?" "Of course I will," Su Yin said bluntly. "If I find a few people to take you to a strange place without saying anything, wouldn't you be annoyed? Would you mind?" Bao Tianxia raised his head and laughed a few times to calm himself down. "If it's someone I want to get to know, I won't mind. Unfortunately, I don't want to get to know the big boss." Su Yin didn't want to give him any face at all. "I think you don't want to live anymore." Zhang Meng's heart twitched. This guy is really too infuriating. The big boss still said to Zhang Meng with a straight face, "Shut up." Zhang Meng turned around angrily and breathed heavily. If it weren't for the big boss, he would have definitely hit Su Yin. Zhang Meng hadn't felt this kind of grievance for many years. Why would the big boss treat him like this because of a bastard? "Mr. Su, my people don't know any better." Ha ha ha. Bao Tianxia laughed like a Methria Buddha. There was no trace of malice in him. Su Yin retorted, "Since Big Boss asked me to come here, he definitely wants to get to know me. Just now, you said that if someone you want to get to know brought you to an unfamiliar place without a second word, you wouldn't mind. Am I right?" Bao Tianxia didn't say anything. He narrowed his eyes and looked at Su Yin. He didn't understand what Su Yin wanted to do. Su Yin got out of the car quickly and opened the door of the driver's seat. He directly pulled the driver out of the car and sat in the driver's seat. He said to Bao Tianxia, "Big boss, get in the car. If you want to talk to me, I'll take you to a strange place. This time you won't be a substitute, right?" Bao Tianxia's lips curled into a mysterious smile. He walked to the car without hesitation. "Okay, Mr. Su has the final say." Chapter 624. Bao Tianxia ignored Zhang Meng's advice and got into his car resolutely. He seemed to be willing to risk everything to take down Su Yin. Nobody could understand this. Bao Tianxia had arranged for a stand-in to pick up Su Yin, because he was afraid that he would be hurt when he was alone with Su Yin. Even though Zhang Meng was in the passenger seat, he didn't have enough confidence to guarantee that he wouldn't be hurt. However, there was only Su Yin in the car this time. Bao Tianxia sat in the car without hesitation, as if he had forgotten all the dangers of life and death. "Big boss, it's too dangerous." Zhang Meng didn't stop persuading Bao Tianxia, but Bao Tianxia had already sat in the car. With a crash, the door closed and the engine roared. Zhang Meng immediately ordered all his men present. "Everyone get in the car. Don't let him take the big boss away." At this time, Su Yin had already stepped on the gas pedal. The car was like a wild beast, rushing out with a roar. However, Su Yin didn't drive the car out of the clubhouse's entrance. Instead, he drove directly to the natural lake in the south of the clubhouse. The car was only about 200 meters away from the lake. Therefore, as soon as it sped up, Su Yin immediately stepped on the brakes. The tires left a 30-meter black line on the ground, and the front of the car accurately stopped half a meter away from the lake. All of this happened in less than 10 seconds. Zhang Meng and his subordinates didn't even have time to start the car when Su Yin seemed to have had enough fun. Bao Tianxia had always thought that he had good self-control and was calm in the face of danger. However, Su Yin's inexplicable move still made him break out in a cold sweat. If Su Yin hadn't stepped on the brakes, they would have sunk to the bottom of the lake together with the car. Although Bao Tianxia was sure that his subordinates would save them, he still had lingering fears. Big Boss is indeed the big boss. He's always calm. Su Yin said lightly, "But why didn't you come personally the second time you picked me up? Were you afraid that I would attack you in the car? Why aren't you afraid that I will take you away and kill you this time?" Bao Tianxia thought for a moment before replying, "Perhaps it's because we hit it off at first sight. When I first saw Brother Su, I felt that there was fate between us. That's why I got in the car. I knew that we would definitely cooperate in the future, and you wouldn't do anything to me. Am I right?" Su Yin smirked. "Is the big boss always so self-righteous? If that's the case, I can only say that I've disappointed you. I didn't drive you out because I know very well that even if I drove you out, your people would still chase after me. Even if I have the chance to kill you, your people will also have the chance to kill me. Moreover, I'm not 100% sure whether you're the real big boss, or just another senior substitute of the big boss. I won't trade my life for the life of someone who might be a substitute. Ha 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 ha. Bao Tianxia raised his head and laughed. I can only say that I'm grateful that you think so highly of me. In this world, it's already very difficult to find someone who looks like me and can be persuaded to be my substitute. Where am I going to find a second one? I'm afraid that even the most wanted terrorist organization leader in the world only has 2 substitutes. Ha ha ha, you really think too highly of me, brother. The technology of human skin masks is very advanced now. I'm not thinking that highly of the big boss. Please don't misunderstand, big boss. Su Yin bluntly tore apart the big boss face. If you think that I think highly of you, then you think too highly of yourself. The smile on Bao Tianxia's face finally disappeared. Mr. Su, if you've been testing my bottom line, then I can only say that you've won. I've already treated you well. If Mr. Su is still dissatisfied, then I can only say sorry. Su Yin shook his head. No. Of course, I'm not dissatisfied with anything. I'm already very satisfied that the big boss has tolerated me until now. Then, Mr. Su, shouldn't you also talk to me about how you saw through my substitute? Bao Tianxia said. My substitute has done a lot of things for me. I really want to know where I saw through him. Tell me, Mr. Su, and I'll consider it as returning a favor. I do owe the big boss a favor for not killing me. Su Yin smiled faintly. How can a person without any domineering aura be the leader of such a large transnational criminal organization? I admit that the big boss substitute is almost exactly the same as you. Even his voice is exactly the same as yours. He imitates all kinds of behaviors and behaviors flawlessly. But the only thing he lacks is the confidence and domineering aura between his eyebrows. Bao Tianxia heard this and nodded repeatedly. Brother Su, you really have good eyesight. Even my people can't see this. Unless I stand with him, they can distinguish who is the real me from the aura. No one will suspect that he's not me if I ask him to do anything alone. It seems that I'll have to ask my substitute to enhance his confidence and domineering aura for the next step. If the big boss doesn't want to cause big trouble, then I don't think it's necessary to ask the substitute to enhance his confidence and domineering aura. Su Yin smiled faintly. I'm telling you this because I want to give you some face. I hope you won't make things difficult for me when I leave later. Go ahead. Bao Tianxia looked at Su Yin. He didn't understand why Su Yin didn't let his substitute practice to be more like him. Su Yin narrowed his eyes. If the substitute also has confidence and domineering aura, then who is the real big boss? I think the big boss should be very clear that if you and your substitute can't even distinguish you when you stand together, then who dares to say that he's a fake and you're the real one? Bao Tianxia was completely unaware that he had already broken out in cold sweat. Su Yun's words reminded him too much. He had never thought about this problem before. If his substitute could be like him one day, then wouldn't he be in danger at any time? Brother Su, thank you. Bao Tianxia said. I'll accept this favor. If you want to leave later, I won't make things difficult for you. Then I can be at ease to be a guest in the Big Boss private club. As Su Yin spoke, he had already put the car into reverse gear. It was the same accelerator speed and braking strength as before. The car followed the same route as before, and was parked in its original position. It was like a video rewinding. Bao Tianxia was so shocked that he couldn't speak for a long time. Su Yin was definitely a talent among talents. Whether it was in terms of observation ability, analysis ability, execution ability, or personal strength, he was an absolute talent. If he could get such a talent, Bao Tianxia absolutely believed that he would be like a tiger that had grown wings. Seeing that the car had returned, Zhang Meng and his subordinates hurriedly got out of the car and surrounded it. Zhang Meng opened the car door. Big boss, are you okay? With your mental strength, there's a world of difference between you and Mr. Su, Bao Tianxia said indifferently. Quickly open the door for my distinguished guest. I want to have a good chat with Mr. Su. Zhang Meng was completely dumbfounded. He originally thought that the big boss would immediately order him to bring his subordinates to kill this reckless guy. He didn't expect the big boss to appreciate Su Yin even more. What happened? What did they talk about just now? Zhang Meng's curiosity was piqued, but no one could help him solve the mystery. Without waiting for Zhang Meng to open the door, Su Yin directly opened the door and got out of the car. He walked side by side with Bao Tianxia unceremoniously. The subordinates immediately opened the door for them. After the two of them entered the room, only Zhang Meng was left outside, confused. Zhang Meng really didn't understand. What ability did Su Yin have to make the big boss so infatuated with him? Did he agree to be with the big boss? Just as Zhang Meng pushed the door open and was about to chase after them, he heard the big boss's order from the front. All of you, guard outside. Without my order, no one is allowed to come in and disturb my conversation with Mr. Su. Yes. Zhang Meng could only obediently close the door and leave. He was unwilling to give up and fiercely punched the wall. He wished so much that he could teach Su Yin a lesson, but why did the big boss tolerate it until now? Damn it. Don't give him a chance. As long as he had a chance, he would definitely kill Su Yin and not let him have a chance to breathe. At this moment, Zhang Meng could only pray that Su Yun's various actions annoyed the big boss. Eventually, the big boss wouldn't be able to stand him and would order him to kill him. Bao Tianxia brought Su Yin to his luxuriously decorated private reception room. Li Chun immediately followed them in. Mr. Su, what would you like to drink? Our boss has all kinds of good tea here. The tea that the big boss likes is naturally the best of the best. Whatever the big boss likes to drink, that's what he usually likes to drink. Huaxia people are particular about the guests following the host's wishes. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, don't you think so? Su Yin said. I don't have any special interest in tea. As long as it's good tea, I like it. We are the same in this regard. Bao Tianxia laughed. I don't have any special interests. As long as it's good tea, I like to drink it. Shaoli, go prepare the best white tea that Mr. Qi gave me not long ago. I think it's very good. Today, I'll let Mr. Su share it with me. Yes, boss. Li Chun immediately turned and left to prepare the tea in the pantry. Su Yin looked around at the layout and furnishings of the room and smiled. It seems that the big boss is a very particular person. He has done a lot of research on feng shui. Whether it is the establishment of this club, the furniture in this room, or the placement of the fish tank, they are all very particular. Bao Tianxia's face was expressionless. He only said that he knew a little. As the big boss behind the grave robbers, if he didn't even know a little about feng shui, how could he determine which places had good things? How could he determine which tombs belonged to the rich and famous? Bao Tianxia's feng shui research could be said to be at the level of a master. Even if he were to publish a book now, he could guarantee that it would be sold out all over the country. It definitely wasn't the kind of words that were all over the sky. It was definitely not a word of wisdom. Chapter 625. Bao Tianxia also took a sip of tea. He put down the teacup and said, Since Mr. Su is a straightforward person, I'll be frank. I'm all ears, Su Yin said. I admire Mr. Su very much, and Mr. Su can see that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come all the way to Qingdao to meet you. Bao Tianxia smiled. Su Yin smiled and leaned on the soft lambskin sofa. Big boss, speaking of which, I still want to interrupt and ask a question. How did you know I would be on Qingdao? And how did you find me in such a short time? I really admire you for that. Bao Tianxia spread his hands. What's so hard about that? Mr. Su, you know that lawyer Wang works for me. He handles all of my company's lawsuits. I pay him a lot of money every year. Since his daughter Wang Xingyu is an artist under Sky Entertainment Group, I naturally know where you are. Su Yin nodded. It was just as he'd guessed. Bao Tianxia was able to find him so quickly because of Lawyer Wang. When Lawyer Wang told me that Mr. Su was the true successor of Sky Entertainment Group, I couldn't believe it. Bao Tianxia said, Until now, I still don't understand the relationship between Zhang Taisui and Mr. Su. Why are you the true successor of Sky Entertainment Group? Why would such a proud woman like White Lips Bamboo Yeqing willingly work for you? Brother Su, please don't blame me for calling you that. I just want to get close to you. You believe Lawyer Wang just because he said that? Aren't you afraid that he's just making things up? Su-Yun took another sip of tea. To be honest, I don't have anything to do with Sky Entertainment Group. I haven't really taken over Sky Entertainment Group. It doesn't matter if you've taken over Sky Entertainment Group or not. At least I found you at Sky Entertainment Group's most important Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. This proves that lawyer Wang isn't joking with his daughter's life. Bao Tianxia said confidently, I don't trust lawyer Wang because I give him a lot of money every year. It's because his daughter is in my hands. I believe that he won't speak carelessly. Su-Yun suddenly frowned. Big boss, the matter between you and me is a personal grudge between us. There's no need to involve the innocent. Bao Tianxia waved his hand. No, of course not. I'm a reasonable person. I won't do anything to harm the innocent. Brother Su, please rest assured. Ha ha ha. It seems that younger brother Su is young and romantic. You can be considered to be affectionate and righteous towards Wang Xinyu. It was not in vain that she refused to reveal your identity. Su-Yun's gaze suddenly turned a little cold. He hated people who talked about innocent people the most. Bao Tianxia seemed to have noticed Su-Yun's displeasure. Brother Su, don't worry. I definitely didn't let anyone touch your woman. I only scared her a little. I definitely didn't hurt her. I know very well that even if she doesn't say anything, her father won't hide anything from me, so you can rest assured. Does Big Boss think that mental injury isn't considered injury? Su-Yun said coldly. If younger brother Su thinks that it's considered injury, then we're even. Just now you drove me into the lake. You already caused me mental injury. Bao Tianxia said. That's reasonable, right? Su-Yun snorted. The other party's reaction was really fast. He was able to link the things that Bao Tianxia did to him in such a short time. He was really smart. Then where is Wang Xinyu now? Shouldn't Big Boss tell me about it? Bao Tianxia pointed at himself. Of course she's the same as me. Other than some mental shock, nothing happened to her. Big Boss, I believe that you are a person who keeps your word. Since you said so, it means that she must be safe. Su-Yun said. If Big Boss really wants to talk to me about something, then I hope that you won't involve any innocent people, because I have nothing to say to someone who would implicate innocent people. Younger brother Su, you're too serious. Ha ha ha, of course I won't harm innocent people. Bao Tianxia said. Younger brother Su, I've already told you everything that you want to know. Shouldn't it be my turn to speak? Su-Yun stretched out his hand and made an inviting gesture. I'm really sorry for interrupting Big Boss. Bao Tianxia smiled and said, I admire people like younger brother Su, so I hope that you can cooperate with me. If younger brother doesn't mind that I'm too old, let's become sworn brothers in this place of mine. In the future, if I have Bao Tianxia, there will also be younger brother Su. If I divide the world into 3 parts, there will also be 3 parts for you. Su-Yun cupped his fists and said, I'm flattered. How can a capable person be flattered? I believe that no matter who it is, they would want to know someone as capable as younger brother Su-Yun. Bao Tianxia said, Younger brother Su-Yun, believe me, as long as you're willing to cooperate with me, I believe that the world will be ours sooner or later. Big Boss, it's a peaceful era now, not a war era. Heroes and ambitious people will only appear in troubled times, but these 2 types of people will never appear in peaceful times. Su-Yun said indifferently, I'm very clear about Big Boss's ambition, and I'm also very clear that Big Boss is definitely a giant of an era. But I still feel that this isn't something that should be done in peaceful times. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested. Bao Tianxia seemed to have already expected that Su-Yun would say this, so he didn't look surprised at all. He smiled and said indifferently, Younger brother Su, I haven't even stated my conditions, and you've already rejected me. Ha ha ha, isn't this a bit too hasty? I'm too young and don't understand some things. Big Boss, please don't take it to heart. Su-Yun said, Since Big Boss said so, then I really want to hear what conditions you have for me. Bao Tianxia smiled and shook his head. He pointed to the teacup and said, Drink tea, drink tea. Drinking tea was like tasting life. Fragrance and bitterness coexisted, but no matter how bitter it was, it couldn't cover up the fragrance. With this cup of the highest quality white tea, Su Yun felt that he didn't come in vain. At least he was able to enjoy something that he couldn't normally enjoy. Younger brother Su Yun, how much does your Sky Entertainment Group make every year? Bao Tianxia asked. Su Yun shook his head. I said, I have no intention of taking over Sky Entertainment Group. As for how much it makes, I naturally don't know. If I were to estimate, it should be quite a lot. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to support so many A-list celebrities. Haha, people in China are very fond of big theaters these days. If you film a good movie, you'll be able to make a few $100 million, right? Younger brother Su really is low-key. If I'm not wrong, Sky Entertainment Group can make at least 10 billion a year in the entertainment industry. Bao Tianxia said. A few billion a year. That's an astronomical figure for anyone. Sky Entertainment Group will definitely be the leader of the Huaxia entertainment industry. Big boss, you must be joking. 10 billion is a bit exaggerated. Su Yun shook his head. Although I'm not in this line of work, I'm afraid that's true. Not every line of work is like yours, where it's easy to make money. Bao Tianxia smiled. I'm not done yet. Younger brother Su, although Sky Entertainment Group's annual profits are frighteningly high, there's also the high taxes, the signing fees for artists, the commissions for big-name directors, the salaries of all kinds of employees, and the operating expenses of the group. If all of these are factored in, Sky Entertainment Group won't have much money left each year, right? And as far as I know, Sky Entertainment Group wants to turn the Qingdao Film Plaza into the Hollywood of the East. They want to make the Qingdao Film Festival a red carpet event that's even better than Cannes. I'm afraid that's a huge expense. Big boss, you don't have to worry about that. At least Sky Entertainment Group can still afford it, Su Yun said. I'm not saying that Sky Entertainment Group can't afford it. Haha, Sky Entertainment Group is so powerful, of course they can afford it, Bao Tianxia said. But in the end, how much money will actually end up in your pocket? Have you ever calculated? Is it 300 and 500 million? Su Yun smiled. Big boss, you think too highly of me. I don't have the ability to make a few $100 million a year. Bao Tianxia raised his head and laughed. Ha ha ha, so, although Sky Entertainment Group is limitless, the money that will end up in your pocket isn't much. It's about the same as your big-name artists, right? After all, you have to support the entire group. Big boss, your words have completely messed up my concept of money. Su Yun joked. I suddenly feel like the few $100 in my pocket is like a few cents. I can't do anything with it. That's right, Bao Tianxia said. Let's not talk about a few $100. What can you do with a few $1,000,000? You can only buy a second-hand house in Yanjing. Su Yun knew what Bao Tianxia wanted to say. Then how much can you give me? Bao Tianxia raised 3 fingers. This is just a greeting gift for you. If we work together, we can make even more money every year. I guarantee that you'll get more than this every year. As long as you agree to work with me, I can give you this guarantee. Su Yun looked at Bao Tianxia's 3 fingers and said with exaggerated surprise, 300 million. Big boss is really generous. I'm really tempted. But yet, Bao Tianxia said. You guess wrong. It's not 300 million. Su Yun was stunned. Bao Tianxia definitely couldn't take out 30 million. Could it be 3 billion? Holy **T, this guy really changed Su Yun's concept of money. Although money wasn't worth much these days, it shouldn't be this exaggerated. Seeing the shock on Su Yun's face, Bao Tianxia smiled proudly. 3 billion? I'll give you 3 billion as a greeting gift as long as you're willing to work with me. As for whether it'll be 5 billion or 8 billion a year in the future, it'll depend on your ability. Su Yun was shocked, but his mind was still clear. Big boss, I don't have the ability to do that. Hee, there are so many experts in this world. With 3 billion, what kind of people can't you hire? Brother, when you said that, I knew that although I can hire many experts with 3 billion, even experts more powerful than you, I can't hire you. But I was unable to invite you. Why do I have to invite you? Bao Tianxia said. You know better than I do. There are some things that I can hire other experts but can't do. Only you can do it. Su Yun knew that Bao Tianxia was talking about the treasure under the Pekel clan's homeland in the Xing and mountain range. Su Yun couldn't believe that the treasure under the ground was so precious that Bao Tianxia would offer him such a high price. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.